instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. We've got a hot week in our forecast. Our highs are in the 80s all the way into the weekend. We'll see 85 this afternoon under mostly clear skies. Humidity not terrible today, but it does creep up a bit later in the week. Overnight tonight, we'll see a low of 61, and tomorrow's high 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 127 points to 38,367. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities. The Body Armor State Games are in Charlotte this June, North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
Rebound collected. Horvath shoots right into the glove of Frederik Andersen. Burns, he'll tee it up, and that's in the glove. It'll be rebound chance to score! Seth Jarvis pounces on the biscuit and drives it home. Sent across on foot, they get it, they score! Stephen Nason in his office in front of the net. Another power play goal, and the Canes have tied it at 2. Swooping attempt out in front by Palmieri. Now another save, Andersen, and another one on Fasching.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Monday. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox here producing the show. I have to be honest, I was hoping we'd start off this Monday recapping the first round for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Previewing the Rangers series.
Thought we'd be looking ahead, talking about how long the break was going to be before the first round and the second round. Alas, that is not the case. We have NFL draft to get to, and the Canes lost in overtime with a closeout opportunity on the line in Game 4 against the Islanders. They were up 3-0. Here's a few things frustrated me about this. One, closing out series in overtime is what the Canes do. 4 of their last 7 series wins have been closed out in overtime. So when they scored their second goal to go and it's tied and it's in the third period, I was like, it's perfect. This is what they do. They're going to go to overtime. They're going to end it. Didn't happen. Was there a lack of blood being smelled in the water by the Canes? Ahead 3-0. Once you get ahead 3-0, it really is just, all right, close the door. All right, send them home. Is there concern about not getting the sweep? First of all, let's hear from Rod Brindamore on any worries about not finishing it in 4 games.
Well, of course they do. I mean, that's only natural. I mean, they're back in it. They got, we gave them some hope here now. So now it's, it's tough we talked about before, it is tough to win 4 games in a row on someone, and, especially when the games are even like they are. I mean, it's not like it was 3-0 and we were dominating the games. It could have went either way in all 3, just like tonight could have easily went the other way. So we expected it to be a long series, and, we got to focus on the next one.
I don't know if they actually expected it to be a long series. After you go up 3-0, after you go ahead 1-0 in the clincher, after you fight back from being down 2-1, force overtime, losing multiple overtimes, it's not just about screaming about what happened. Sometimes it is about what happened. And make no mistake about it, like Matt Barzal had a good day. He's a good player. Occasionally that's going to happen, right? He's going to put himself in good situations. He's going to get the benefit of deflections every now and then. It's part of the most frustrating thing for me watching hockey. I'm going to start calling it almost the hockey thing. The hockey thing happened to the Canes. Mm-hmm. Like, you can play very well for a long period of time and have nothing to show for it. Right? You can dominate for 25 minutes of consecutive gameplay where it feels like you're in your offensive zone for a long time, and then walk away like 1-1 over that 25 minutes.
Or you can not play well at all, and all of a sudden you're up 2-1 or 2-0.
Yeah.
It's just
the other, yeah.
So,
you don't complain about the hockey thing when the hockey thing benefits you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Then it's well-executed opportunistic play. Duh. Like Freddie played well in the game.
Oh, he played great.
Gensel and Jarvis each had a point.
Mm-hmm.
Nason, which you heard in the intro, got in his office and had kind of the dirty work goal that he's come up with a few times. They created opportunities in extra time, right? They created opportunities to go get that series clinching overtime win. Just didn't convert. So there really is 2 ways to decipher what happened in Game 4. One is, you had all these opportunities, you played this quality of hockey, and you weren't able to close the door. And as any old-timer will tell you, the good teams find a way to close the door. The other part of it is, they're a professional hockey postseason team also, right? They're going to come up with their versions of the hockey thing, right? They're not sitting there saying Matt Barzal got lucky. They're not sitting there saying, oh, the Canes just had bad breaks. They're sitting there saying, well executed, well played, well timed, opportunistic hockey in a do or die situation for them. They were more dangerous because they had nothing to lose, because their backs were against the wall.
I like that 4th win's always the hardest one.
Yeah, the closeout.
The closeout's always the most difficult.
Everyone fights harder when they're down to their last breath. Like, that's fair. I do think, and this is unfair and very media of me, I think I will decide how upset I am about Game 4 after Game 5. Right? Because what are the reasons why you want to slam the door in Game 4 and get out of there with the sweep? One is because the Rangers did it. And you want to be as rested as they are going into the next series. You don't want to give up a huge advantage. I don't think you do that by playing one more game in Game 5. Right? You're not giving up a huge advantage because you're going to have enough time to get fully rested back to 100% by the start of the second series. However, if it drags into Game 6, you do start asking those questions of, oh, no, now do they have the fatigue advantage? Why is it so important to close out Game 4? Well, it doesn't expose you to injuries in Game 5. If you make it through Game 5 with a win so you don't drag it out and you don't get more tired, and you make it into the second series without any significant injuries or notable owies or boo-boos, then, okay, we can look back at Game 4 and go no harm, no foul. Right? Oh, that shot went, what was it, off the knob of the goalie? All right. No harm, no foul. But if it drags on, if you don't use it as an urgency builder, if you don't go into Game 5 better off because of Game 4, then I'm going to look back at Game 4 and I'm going to be really mad about it. I'm going to be going, how were you that close? How did you have the 1-0 early lead? How did you have all these opportunities and not finish it off? So occasionally you have to admit, right? This is a very media thing to do.
Of
but
course.
but I am withholding my anger on Game 4 until I see the results of Game 5 tomorrow at PNC. If all we get is a dominant victory at home that the fans get to enjoy and another day to tailgate, we'll be out in front of PNC right there on the concourse area tomorrow. Yeah. If all we get is another day to hang out with the fans and no harm, no foul, I have no problem with Game 4.
Yeah, we'll be out there on the plaza.
If and you knock on wood, throw the salt over your shoulder if you are a superstitious person, if there's an injury, then I'm going to be like, I don't care that we got another day to be out there on the plaza. I don't care that we got another, like, then it becomes, that's the reason why you end them early. And make no mistake about it, as well as Freddie is playing, and we're going to dive into the decision that they've made to fully trust him as their, not only their goalie one, but their goalie goat, like he's the guy, the only, the first, the only, the always. That doesn't, like, just because he's playing well doesn't mean you want to go, all right, he'll play every third day from now until forever. Let's just go ahead and trot him out there because he's playing well. Like, he's still a guy that took 3.5-4 months off in the middle of the year for the blood clotting issue, and he's still a guy that has not built up full, game style, every game endurance. If you can end it early and make sure he's well rested for Game 1 of Game 2 or Game 1 of Series 2, you do that. But I'm not going to get mad. I will probably get mad at some point today, but my anger is not to the level that it might be if tomorrow doesn't go well.
Well, when the series went to New York, I think you and I both said, yeah, the Islanders are probably going to win one of these two games so they can come back and win in Game 5. So it's breaking exactly how we predicted.
That might be the least media thing I'm doing here today, which is my prediction before this season was 4-1. My prediction was in 5 games, and I'm still sitting here saying I wish they did it in 3. So I'm putting what I think is best for the Canes over being right, which is the least media thing you can do on the planet.
Hey, I said Canes in 6, so
yeah, we're both still alive with our predictions, but I think both of us are doing the putting our fandom over our media ego and saying we'd rather have what's best for the team than be right. And you'd be surprised how many people in sports media would rather be right over just about everything else. Just about any and everything else. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Well, this is one area I would like to be right. Let's talk about my friends, my partners over at DraftKings Sportsbook. The chase for the cup is on. And if you're looking to light the lamp, nothing beats the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps. DraftKings has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting odds and odds boosts, and so much more. This week, all North Carolina customers, that is, all North Carolina customers can place a pregame moneyline bet on Carolina, and if they lead by at least 2 goals at any time during the game, you win, even if they end up losing the game. Just an automatic cash if they get up by 2 goals at any point in the game. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's TIMD. I'm speaking to the new customers here, because if new customers download the app and use code TIMD at sign-up and then bet $5, all you have to do is bet $5, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code TIMD, T-I-M-D, with no spaces, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. 1 early win per opted-in customer. Max bet limits apply. Token expires at the start of the game. See DKNG.co/ice for wagering eligibility and terms. Want to make sure I say that right. It's a Monday. We're warming up into it. We'll be speaking and talking smoothly in a few minutes here. In a few minutes here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, we're talking draft. We give the Panthers a draft grade, and we explain why we gave them that grade. Coming up next.
Hey, I'm Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan.
And I'm Brian Murphy from WRAL News. Sports betting is finally legal in North Carolina. Getting to this point, in this state, wasn't easy.
How it happened is a backstory worth telling, and that's what we're going to do in a new season of our podcast, A Brief History of Triangle Sports. The podcast is out now.
Follow A Brief History of Triangle Sports on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube.
It's the first day of the first grade. and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Our Cookie Two-Step Ice Cream is a creamy vanilla ice cream with hints of brown sugar, chunks of chocolate cream-filled cookies, and tasty chocolate chip cookie dough pieces. Cookie Two-Step has everybody's taste buds two-stepping, and 1 and 2.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
It's Truck Month at your local Ram dealer, and now's the time to get great deals on our award-winning lineup of trucks. At Ram, all we do is trucks. Maybe that's why Ram is the most awarded light-duty and heavy-duty truck brand over the last 5 years. Ram trucks feature innovative technology and uncompromised power and dependability that give you the power to strengthen your truck game. Go to ram.com for great deals and hurry in for the best selection of trucks during Ram Truck Month. Based on total full-size pickup awards 2019 to 2023 CYTD, based on standard and available features offered.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Take a look at the newly opened Topgolf in Durham, the first ever Topgolf in Research Triangle. We're talking over 100 climate-controlled hitting bays spanning 3 levels. There's also a lot that's not golf. Interactive games, a chef-driven menu. Don't miss the fan-favorite injectable donut holes, handcrafted cocktails, plenty of TVs for playoff watching and more, and music. Really something for everyone. Check out half-off gameplay every Tuesday. Be one of the first to check out the first Triangle Topgolf, 4901 Topgolf Way in Durham.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was the second-round pick for the Carolina Panthers, the first running back off the board. They broke the seal on the running backs. Panthers draft grade. This is the entirety of it. It's not Jeff Xavier Liggett. It's not just Jonathan Brooks. It's all of them. I'm going B-.
Okay.
B-. You're passing comfortably, right?
Yeah.
If anyone asks, what do you say? B? I got B. But what is it really? Darn near a C. You're close, right? It's a B-. And part of it was there is an element of they were trying to get back to neutral this year. This new group. It was actually funny. I saw Panthers fans complaining that the Ringer, which is Bill Simmons' site, their website, they cover a whole bunch of sports and pop culture. They gave out draft reviews for each team. And I saw Panthers fans were mad on social media that the first couple of sentences about this year's Panthers review was about last year's Bryce Young trade. And my thought was, well, you can't tell the story of this year's draft without explaining why they didn't have the number 1 overall pick, without explaining why they were not going to have their full complement of picks, and they had to make up for that. So there was an element of, they started behind the 8 ball. They started with everyone else having a head start on them because of a trade that the previous regime made last year. So I don't even know, if an A+ was a possibility for them.
Oh, God, no.
They could have got value, that I see or that the experts see at every pick, and I'd still be going like, A-. Like, just because they started off trailing. Now, I have favorite picks. I have shoulda, woulda, couldas. I have a whole bunch of observations here. But part of the story is Bryce Young was a part of this draft class. Right? And guess what? Part of the Bears draft class was Keenan Allen because they traded their 4th-round pick for Keenan Allen, right? Those things all happen. It's all part of the total value. So if you spent part of this year's total value on Bryce Young last year, a third of Bryce Young is part of this year's draft class. Let's hear from Dave Canales on bringing talent in offensively, which is definitely what the first half of the draft was for the Carolina Panthers.
Absolutely. I feel like we really took advantage of some of those spots to, bring a bunch of talent, into our roster, specifically talking about the offense, just looking positionally, with a running back, a receiver, and a tight end, skill-wise, just really bringing a little bit of juice there to really challenge that whole group and elevate the offense. So I'm really excited about what we did there.
Here's why I like the first 3 offensive picks of the Dave Canales and Dan Morgan era. They knew what they wanted. And they didn't care if it's what I wanted or if it's what Mel Kiper thought they wanted or if it was what Todd McShay or some other team thought they wanted. They knew what they wanted, and they were not going to be moved off of that stance, right? They wanted Jonathan Brooks. They traded up to get a running back, which is not usually the position you see teams start with when they're doing a rebuild. And he's coming off an ACL injury, which is not usually what players are hoping to do going into their NFL draft prospect season. So he wasn't able to do a lot of the pre-draft stuff. But he's the player that Dave Canales and Dan Morgan wanted, and they went to get him. Same thing with Liggett, the last pick of the first round, trading up to go get him. It wasn't, well, there's this group of McConkey and Coleman and Liggett, and we're going to take whichever one falls to us. There's one we want, let's go get him. It wasn't, everybody had Cooper DeJean mocked as a mid-first rounder. We can get him at pick 39. It was, no, we're trading back from pick 39. That's what we want to do. The tough decisions. Who would have expected Troy Franklin, wide receiver out of Oregon, to be available with the first pick in the 4th round? Nobody. But the Panthers didn't pivot and go, we do need receivers. They said, no. Jatavion Sanders. That's our guy. Texas, tight end. I don't care if it's not what the mock drafts say or if we could get a steal in value by bringing in Troy Franklin. It was about what they thought. Now, here's why I go B- rather than A. I do think part of the draft is paying attention to what everybody else wants. It's not just about what you want. Because if you want something that everybody else doesn't want, you can move back. You can get value for it, right? If you want something, but you know the next 5 people in the draft don't want it, see if you can find value there, right? Half the draft is knowing your board. The other half is doing your darndest to pay attention to what you think every other team needs. I do think the Panthers got a little bit too bogged down into this is about us, right?
No, they had their plan. They stuck with it.
It's what coaches say, right? It's about us. It's not about them. But their quarterback has a strong arm and he likes throwing rolling left, so pay attention to that. I'm going, wait a second. Is it about us or is it about we need to know their scouting report, but it's about us? That's kind of how I look at a draft. It's we got to know what we want, what we value, but we should also pay attention to what everybody else wants and what everybody else values. I think they could have gotten Brooks a little bit later. I think they could have gotten a few guys that they drafted a little bit later, maybe even the next round. Now, maybe they didn't want to play that bit of gambling, right? They didn't want to worry about it. But I think that's part of the draft, is seeing that value and taking advantage of it. Also, if I were being extremely nitpicky, Hunter Norzad was a Penn State center who went to the Chiefs 2 picks after the Panthers took Shaw Smith-Wade.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have liked to see the center there. But we can get nitpicky on every call.
Yeah, you can get nitpicky on all this stuff.
That's a 5th round. Like if the biggest regret you have is like, oh, I wish you would have flipped some guys in the 5th round, you're doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wish you would have waited a little bit to draft that guy. I think you did pretty well. Also, they did get their picks back for the future. Dennis, I know you're big on this.
Very big on this.
Essentially, they've used Brian Burns to erase the collateral damage of the Bryce Young trade, meaning they used one of the seconds to get up into the 1st round, which they didn't have because of the Bryce Young trade, and they picked up a 2nd rounder next year, which they wouldn't have because of the Bryce Young trade. So there is an element of Dan Morgan on the phone, a la the movie Draft Day. I want my picks back. All of them.
Yeah, they had to do some work to get it done. But you got to think that when Dan Morgan was promoted to be general manager, the Panthers only had 5 draft picks, none of them in the 1st round, and did not have a 2nd-round pick in 2025. And he walks out. Now, granted, he had to give up Brian Burns to make this happen, but you walk out with 7 picks, including a 1st-rounder, and you got your 2025 2nd-round pick coming in from part of the move down early in the 2nd round. So, to me, the fact that he walked out with 7 picks this year and you got your 2nd-round pick next year outside of players, well done. Well done. That's why I give the draft a B+ for the Panthers. I give it a B+ because of what he was able to do even before the draft, because before the draft started, he only had 6. He stretched it and made it 7, and you got a pick next year? Job well done.
And the other thing is, this is what I talked about, like it was a lot of work to get back to neutral. Mm-hmm. They had 1 pick in the 1st, 1 pick in the 2nd, 1 pick in the 3rd, 1 pick in the 4th, 1 pick in the 5th, 6th, and 7th. They did a lot of moving up and down to end up where they kind of could have been generically, obviously different points in each of those rounds, but to end up kind of generically where the team starts before anyone starts messing with it. So I do give them credit for that. Now it's, you got to stick to your guns on the names you like and the reasoning behind taking them. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. I know it's crazy to think about the end of the month here already. May is coming up here in just a couple of days. Well, May is National Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. And now here's something, as someone who rides a motorcycle, I actually rode my motorcycle into work today. It's very important, obviously, to be safe when you're riding, whether it's obviously wearing a proper helmet, make sure you got the protective gear and everything that you need to have in order to ride safe. But it's also important for people that are out on the road to understand, hey, it's riding season this time of year. The weather's nice, things are warm, people are out on their motorcycles. So being aware of motorcycles and other people that are riding around you, especially when those people are also trying to ride safe as well. So it's important that you make sure that you take care of not only your gear, but also make sure you take care of your fellow riders as well. So Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month coming up in May. So again, just a couple days away. But if you are in an accident, this is where you got to call the Law Tigers. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, before you call your insurance company, because the insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, the group over there, they're riders too. So they understand what your bike, your gear, and everything is worth to you and what you've been through after an accident. So your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and Law Tigers doesn't get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's Freddie's net for the Carolina Hurricanes. Piotr, he's just there for backup. We'll explain what that means for the Canes, not just hopefully through one more game in this series, but the future for the Carolina Hurricanes this postseason. Stick around.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. Date the rate, marry the house, a phrase often used by realtors to describe the difference between keeping your new forever home as opposed to your mortgage rate, which you'll only keep until something better comes along, kind of like speed dating. A recent study by the Wall Street Journal further supports this notion by finding the average life of a loan to be less than 4 years. Their suggestion? Find a no-fee loan, which is exactly what Miller Lending has been telling you since 1996. With no closing costs of any kind, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance each time something better comes along. So while builders promote buy-downs with over $10,000 in closing costs, or lenders advertise crazy low rates with even more, Miller Lending continues to be the leader in the no-cost mortgage. So before you throw away thousands of needless fees, pick up the phone and call your local neighborhood lender, Miller Lending in Cary, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Are you looking for a place to take the whole family? Somewhere affordable that provides a ton of entertainment and good food? Well, let me let you in on a little secret. You can get all that and more at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. They have something for every member of the family. Let the kids play in Woolly World and meet Woolly Bull, and the adults can grab a tasty craft beer. Plus, you don't want to miss their unbeatable fireworks shows. Go to durhambulls.com/tickets or call 919-956-BULL today.
Dauntless Transmissions has been the trusted transmission shop in Raleigh for more than 27 years. The experts at Dauntless Transmission are dauntless when it comes to caring for your vehicle. Whether that means a total transmission rebuild, complex engine or brake service, or just a routine tune-up, your vehicle will be dauntless when they're done with it. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
Dauntless is currently looking for skilled auto technicians to join the Dauntless team. Visit DauntlessTransmissions.com/careers to apply.
Tim Donnelly here for my friends at Zero Res. April showers bring May flowers. Well, how about this? Sitting on your couch in March brings crumbs and stains and spills on your carpet in April. That's where Zero Res comes in. Get your carpets cleaned. Not only is indoor air quality an issue year-round, but especially now that allergens and pollens are coming out of hibernation to invade your home. Get them all, the dust, the dander, everything out of your house using Zero Res. Get 3 rooms of your carpet Zero Resified starting at just $105, and if you get your air ducts cleaned, they'll clean your dryer vent for free. That's a $165 value. Call my friends at Zero Res right now, 919-995-0000, or go online at zeroresnc.com and say you want the 99.9 The Fan special. Zero Res. Spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same, and your house will smell clean.
Free. Who doesn't love free? With MyLowe's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at lowes.com/MyLowe's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
The Body Armor State Games are in Charlotte this June, North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Just a heads up, everybody, at 4:33, so 1 hour from right now, we will be taking your hottest takes. Hottest. Don't come around here with a lukewarm take, all right? There was an NFL draft over the weekend, predictions of the players, the teams, the places. There was a Game 4 in the first round for the Carolina Hurricanes. You can have a take on how that series will go, on what happened, anything. We want your hottest takes. Keep them sports related. If they're extra spicy, anything will go. But at 4:33, we're going to open up the phone lines, the Heaster Automotive Group hotline, and we're going to ask for your hottest takes at 4:33.
Throw flames, folks.
That's one way to put it.
Throw flames.
Spit hot fire. Let's talk Canes. It's Freddie's net. Piotr's just the backup. And now I'm along for the ride.
Yeah.
Now I am along for the ride. There were things that I think the Canes could have done better in Game 4. Freddie has been pretty darn consistent as far as being a bright spot, right? Jump to the Aho clip.
Sure.
Here's Aho on the team feeling like they need to do more.
I mean, I know that we have more, but having said that, I think we did had enough chances to score a couple of goals there, but it doesn't always go our way. But there's another level, and we need to get to. I think
there's another level. I don't think that necessarily. I mean, obviously, if Freddie wants to go post shutouts, but you have to be pleased with the way he's looked through 4 games. He played great. He has played great. And guess what they are now? They are past the point of no return. I was in favor, and I said it on air. I was on record, so no backtracking or flip-flopping here. I was on record saying I think they should have included Pyotr Kochetkov more in the postseason net rotation. Through 4 games, they have played Pyotr Kochetkov nothing. It's been Freddie's net. He has owned it, and he's played well. It looks like the right decision, right? It looks like this should be a situation where I raise my hand and go, that's my bad, that's on me. Way to go, Rod. But we won't know if it's the right decision until the marathon is over. If there's one thing years like last year for the Carolina Hurricanes, and every year it's reminded again and again, if there's one thing you could have learned from a year like last year, it's that the NFL, of course, the draft was yesterday, 2 days ago. The NHL playoffs are a marathon. They are a long, arduous, tiring beast of a challenge, right? The NHL playoffs are a marathon. So it's really hard to judge a team like the Canes on their decisions after a sprint. 4 games in NHL playoff terms is a sprint, right? You're not even, if it's a mile race, you're not even one time around the track yet. If it's a mile race, you're just getting started on the backstretch of your first time around the track. And a decision like, hey, we're going to play Freddie every waking moment that he is rested enough to do so is not a decision that is like, that's just for this bit, right? That's a decision that impacts the whole race. I'm a big Steve Prefontaine fan, so this is one of those timely references that comes from the 1972 Olympics in Munich.
Oh, okay.
Very, very topical and
Yeah, absolutely.
hip and now. But he was a guy, he ran the 1600, right? He was a miler, if you will. He did not ever pace. He was go, 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 full out sprinting. And he would say so in the pre-race media. He'd go, well, I'm going to run as fast as my body will allow me to run from the opening starting gun, and if someone else wants to run with me, good luck to him. Well, guess what? He held every American record from the 1,600 to the 8,000. The dude was an unreal distance runner, and in his first Olympics, did not even finish on the podium. You know why? Because everyone else simply chilled and then kicked past him on the final lap. That's what you're worried about with something like playing Frederik Andersen every single game. He played, 10 games in the regular season after his extended absence for the blood clotting issue, and none of those games were on back-to-back appearances. Now he's played back-to-back-to-back-to-back appearances.
Tommy Mansky would be proud.
Tommy Mansky, you want to talk about timely and topical references. For those of you that watched ESPN in 1998, you know all about Fred McGriff and Tom Mansky on those infomercials. But also, if you were in Little League at the time, you know at one point in time you threw a cutoff throw into a trash can. We all did. It's my point is this. It's working. Freddie in net, it's working. Because Freddie is playing great. And Freddie doesn't look fatigued. And Freddie is stopping a whole bunch of pucks. And Freddie made a couple key stops in overtime that gave the Canes additional opportunities to close out the game. I'm also going to say this. If Freddie looks exhausted in the Eastern Conference Finals, I may take a little victory lap on my take. And that's not – I hope it doesn't happen. Again, that's my media mind creeping into my fandom mind. But the marathon of it all is just getting started. And fatigue is not something you measure in Game 4 of a postseason run. Fatigue is something you measure in months of a postseason run. Pyotr, stay ready. Because the only time Pyotr Kochetkov is going to go into the game is when Freddie needs a breather, right? It's the, like, ready for a, you'll appreciate this. Okay. I'm not a huge wrestling guy. I didn't watch them all. Don't have them all memorized. Don't know everything like you do. But I do get the feeling that in certain tag team matches, the one that's not in the ring is a little too eager to go into the ring. They're like leaning over with their hand out like, come on, come on. And person in the ring's like, I got this. Chill, bud. Like, it does feel like there's a little bit of that where Kochetkov, he's done nothing. I'm just talking about my own observations of how competitives are.
Be ready for that hot tag and clear the ring. Let's go.
He's out there like, come on, tag me in. Freddie's like, I'm playing well right now. let me see how this goes. Kochetkov has to be the guy eagerly reaching out with his hand. Like, tag me in.
I think it's benefited Freddie in the fact that through multiple times this series, there's been 2 days off between games. So you get that extra day of rest. So that's happened multiple times, or it's going to be happening multiple times between games 4 and 5 as well. So you get that extra day. And I think also as well, this is something I said going into the playoffs, is that the way Freddie, because I talked to Trip Tracy about this, the way Freddie approached the blood clotting issue and him getting back was like a restart to his regular season. Or like restart. Like, so basically when he was able to start skating and come back, it was like his preseason is how he treated it. So for him, he's now getting into that mid-season form where you can start back-to-back games. Like, he's built up to that. So really, he's built his way up to being able to do what he's doing right now. And with the extra days off a couple times between games, you roll with it. And if you close things out tomorrow, my guess is game 1 isn't until, Sunday, maybe Monday next week. That's a ton of time to get your body right again.
I completely, and that's part of the reason why I think it's extremely important they close it out in game 5. It eliminates travel. It keeps everybody fresh, and Freddie amongst them is the one of the guys that needs to be the freshest. The freshiest. So fresh and so clean. Shout out to Outcast. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's move towards another legend who wore red in Raleigh.
Oh, okay. See what you did there.
Hot segue there. Payton Wilson. tumbled in the draft much further than I expected him to. He was the best defensive football player in the college football ranks, not like team MVP. I'm talking best in the country defensive player for the NC State Wolfpack. He fell all the way to pick 98, which was the third to last pick in the third round. We're into the compensation picks of the third round.
Mm-hmm.
His medical reports, right, when he took the physicals and the scans and everything else, must have been a sight to see. It must have been red flag, red flag, red flag. And that is the stuff we can't predict about the draft, right? Everyone looks at it and looks for, oh, he'll fit with the Eagles at pick 50, or maybe he'll even work his way into the 40s. What we can't predict is everybody that took him maybe even completely off their board. Because if you listen to Mel Kiper talking on the broadcast, he doesn't have an ACL in one of his knees.
Yeah, I think Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network said the same thing. Yeah, reportedly he doesn't have an ACL in one of his knees.
Doesn't have an ACL in one of his knees.
He said torn it multiple times.
Which makes me wonder, what was he tearing? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
If it wasn't there, is this good? Is this good news? You can't tear an ACL if you don't have one.
That's true.
The Steelers took him with the 98th pick. Here's my advice to the Steelers based on how harrowing the medicals must have been for Payton Wilson for him to drop that far. Right? I'm looking at the player he was, what he put on tape, the 40 he ran at the combine. Everything I'm looking at that says he should be somewhere in the draft, and then he ends up somewhere far below that, I'm going, all right, those must have been harrowing medicals. It's the only explanation I can have. Here's my advice. You play him right away, and you play him till the wheels fall off, because you might not have, if the medicals are that scary, you might be one misstep, one false step away from it all being over, or if, like, you know, sometimes you hear this with, like, when there's no cartilage in a knee or something, it's like the Brandon Roys of the world. For those of you that remember Brandon Roy with the Blazers, his knees, it was like a ticking clock in the bottom corner of a Thriller. It was, well, it's not going to last long, but he's going to be really darn good while he's here. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, if you have Payton Wilson, you play him, and you play him until the wheels fall off, because he is going to burn bright while he is on the field. And you have a steal as far as quality, but it might not last forever. And then if you do, by the way, speaking of the Steelers, apparently Hines Ward didn't have an ACL. Looked it up. According to some reporting, he had a bicycle accident when he was in 4th grade, and since then he just didn't have an ACL. He played forever and was really good with the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you right, you have this whole dramatic decision on, we're going to play Payton Wilson now because who knows how long it's going to last. 14 years later, you're like, you're still pretty good.
He just had 3 interceptions.
Yeah, what is going on here? This is how, actually, I wanted to bring this up at the beginning. This is how I know the Payton Wilson medicals were harrowing, and it's the thing that is gut-wrenching for a player because, right, injuries and things you can't predict, and they're even more brutal when it's before they got to live out their dream and all that. The Panthers took a linebacker in the 3rd round, and it wasn't Payton Wilson. They took Trevin Wallace. That's how you know the medicals said absolutely not. Luke Kuechly said into a microphone, and everyone that'll put a microphone in front of his face into the lead-up of the NFL draft said that Payton Wilson is awesome. Payton Wilson is great. Payton Wilson did this, did that. All of this kind of hyping him up. And the Panthers took a different guy at the same position in the same round that Payton Wilson was drafted. Do you realize how aggressively the doctor or trainer or whatever would have had to look at Dan Morgan and Dave Canales and go no, to overrule Luke Kuechly looking at him and saying yes? It had to be like this reason and that reason. So I'm feeling for Payton Wilson on this one. As much as you can feel for a guy that went 98th in the NFL draft.
Yeah, he was still picked in the 3rd round. He's going to a pretty darn good franchise.
Coming from a Steelers fan.
I mean, he's going to a really good franchise.
Squeaking into the 3rd round, day 2 pick. I'm really glad he didn't go 4 picks later.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that would have been the Panthers. So 5 picks later.
Yeah.
Because then he would have had to wait that whole extra day of just everyone he knows texting him going, man, what's happening? Oh, did you hear from anybody? What's your agent saying? Would have been a brutal day. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of Trevin Wallace, consider me absolutely shocked that over 50% of the Panthers' picks went defense. Well, everything we could see from our own eyes on the outside said they need to build up offense around Bryce Young, and then they started with 3 of their first 4 picks on offense, and I was going like, this is it. This is going to be a weekend celebration of get Bryce more help. Turns out with the first pick in the Saturday edition of the draft, so they had the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds. With the first pick in the 4th round, the party of getting Bryce Young people to play with on offense came to a close. Abrupt halt. Here's Dan Morgan on the plan this offseason towards building the offense.
Free agent-wise, we looked at where we thought was strong in free agency and then where we thought it was going to be strong in the draft, and kind of come up with a plan of how we should attack it. And it just really came out that way, to where we attacked the interior, the offensive line, got that right, and then we were, it left us with the flexibility, to go into the draft and, draft a wideout, draft a tight end, and, just some guys that we like that we can kind of surround Bryce with and make this team and this offense better.
All the plans, offense. 3rd round, Trevin Wallace, Kentucky linebacker. 5th round, Shaw Smith-Wade, Washington State cornerback. 6th round, Jaden Crumedy, a Mississippi State defensive tackle. 7th round, Michael Barrett, Michigan linebacker. Now, obviously, the saying 50% of the draft capital is a bit facetious because first round is going to be worth more than 7th round and so on. But do you know what this tells me? Dan Morgan is still Dan Morgan.
Which means?
That player is in there somewhere behind the gelled hair, the glasses, and the crisp suit of a GM. There's still Dan Morgan, the linebacker, in there. And he kind of hit us with I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving a drive without a handful of defensive players. I'm still Dan Morgan over here.
Well, it's interesting what Trevin Wallace said in his post-draft availability with the media.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm out here to hurt people. Not like, hey, I'm out here to try and make plays, do my best, do my job, whatever it is I got to do and make plays. No, he's like, I'm out here to try and hurt people, and if you get hurt, I don't care. It's like, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but that's basically it. He's like, I'm out here to try and hurt people. I was like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, yeah, I see why Dan Morgan liked this guy. I'm out here to try and hurt people. I'm like, Dan Morgan talked about that dog mindset. Yeah. There it is, right there. 100%.
And that's, we're going to talk a lot about actually coming up here in a few minutes, about the messages sent by the Panthers in this draft. Not like the literal messages like, hey, we're drafting you, but like the overarching messages. What the defensive players ended up doing what they ended up doing by drafting those defensive players is Dan Morgan sent a message that said, I respect that side of the ball, right? I understand the main priority was offense, but I'll never ignore my defense. Evero, still going to have to make some magic, still going to have to pull some rabbits out of a hat, but he has better ingredients to do so, right? More young bodies to do so. A lot of them will play on special teams. But I have to be honest, I would have been fine. I probably would have preferred if the whole weekend was about offense. If the entire offensive party was just started on Thursday, rolled through Saturday of just, hey, ho, add another offense, hip, hip, hooray, add another lineman, hip, hip, hooray, another wide receiver. I would have been cool if that was the entire weekend. But I just don't think Dan Morgan can go an entire draft just like, oh, another glory boy for the offense. Eventually, he's like, I need somebody that wants to tackle somebody.
In this case, try to hurt somebody.
And try to hurt somebody, try to gobble up blockers, try to do what the Panthers, by the way, have all their best teams have come with a great defense.
Oh, yeah.
They've had their offensive stars, their Steve Smiths. They've had their, big players on that side.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. I mean, we go on and on. Even going back to, like, Stephen Davis. You can go back as far as you want to go. Muhsin Muhammad. Now we're just guys naming dudes.
D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart. Great one, too.
Jimmy Clausen. Never mind. Mel Kiper said he was going to retire if Jimmy Clausen didn't work out.
Yeah, it's funny. I still see him on my TV.
Saw him all weekend. But going back to what I was saying, like, there is certain parts of your DNA that you don't want to ignore, and I think that's what Saturday was about for the Panthers. Like, we're a defensive group. We're not going to ignore that. Not going to ignore it at all. I'm not going to ignore Window Nation. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you about my partners at Window Nation right now. I've been spending a lot of time outside recently. It's been nice out, right? You know what that means? I've got a 3-year-old. You're going in and out. You need to get snacks. You need to get the water bottle. The door is opening and closing, opening and closing. You know what I'm thinking of every time? I've got the air conditioner on out inside, and all this air is getting out every time we go inside and outside. That's probably a real dad move, right? Like the temperature in the house, too worried about it. Well, guess what? Window Nation can show you how the air might be going in and out, whether your door is open or not, because it can be going in and out through the actual windows. Whether you have the caulking that isn't sealed correctly, the seals, the actual glass, the window pane may not be put in right. It's all a way for your maybe less energy efficient windows to let that air go in and out, in and out, in and out. And you might be paying more on your energy bill because of it. Basically, what I'm telling you to do is give a call to Window Nation. They can come out and literally display how well or not well your windows are keeping the air divided up. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free right now at Window Nation, plus 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 24 months. They can install your new windows in 1 day or less, and Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty. Get that free, no-obligation quote and demonstration right now. It's easy. Call 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com to schedule. We'll take a break. When we come back. Football at 4. The Panthers took the first running back in the draft yesterday. What does that mean? Stick around.
Canes fans, game on.
Let's go Canes!
Let's go Canes! It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Let's go Hurricanes! Go Canes!
Let's go
Canes!
Gets it with a second try. Swayman can't see it. They score! Rebound score. Seth Jarvis. What a save by Andersen. Ride with us for every heart-stopping game. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss even when you monitor your credit. If your identity's stolen, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% their first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com.
Autobell Car Wash has been trusted for 55 years for high-quality service. We'll clean your car from the inside out. Now through June 2nd, buy 2 Super Poly Process Wash tickets at any Autobell for just $55.
People can tell when you Autobell.
See if you're a winner every night.
Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoot! He scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's a hot afternoon out there. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. Not terribly humid, but the humidity will creep up a bit later in the week. We'll see mostly sunny skies through the afternoon. Overnight, clear with a low of 61. And it's hot again tomorrow, 88 degrees, partly cloudy.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock, check of your money. Dow Jones is up 141 points to 38,381. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games, coming to Charlotte this June, North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org. Again, bodyarmorstategames.org.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
It is time for football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. But we're taking the entirety of the drive, not just football at 4, the whole darn thing. We're taking the drive out for a drive. And we're going to drive to where we can drive. I'll explain. We'll be broadcasting live from the newly opened Top Golf in Durham this Friday. We'll be talking sports from one of Top Golf's 100-plus climate-controlled hitting bays from 3 to 6. And we'll be taking in all that Top Golf offers. I told you it's Monday. I'm going to be speaking clearly by Tuesday.
You got this. All right.
From its chef-driven menu to the interactive games. Join us Friday for some fun at Top Golf's third location in North Carolina, Top Golf Durham, at 4901 Top Golf Way. So get it. We're going to take the drive, and we're going to drive to where we can drive the golf balls into the Top Golf world.
You bring your clubs?
Maybe. They also provide clubs, so
they do.
Maybe I'll use some of theirs. Maybe I'll bring my clubs. I don't know. I hadn't thought about it yet. Sometimes, actually, no. It's there's something for everybody. The super serious golfers, or the ones there just kind of to mash a couple fairways and then eat some food and drink some drink. I haven't decided what vibe I'm going to be on Friday. If I'm going to be there trying to work on my game and use the analytics, or if I'm there trying to smash a couple into the net and then grab some wings.
A little hack and whack time?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe hack and snack. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's on Friday, so come out and say hi. Durham Topgolf during the show on Friday. Right now, football at 4. The Panthers drafted a running back in the second round. They took the first running back off the board in Jonathan Brooks. I don't think it was the right pick.
Why?
Because I think it was too early to go running back. I think the Panthers have too many other needs. I think the gap between the running back that you trade up for in the second round and the running back that you wait for in the fifth round wasn't big enough, right? Meanwhile, the gap between maybe a receiver or a offensive lineman that you draft in the second round versus what you get in the fifth round is big enough to warrant the pick. However, I don't know if this year's draft was all about getting the most value from every pick for Dave Canales and Dan Morgan, the D&D duo. I think part of it was with their actions setting a culture of what's going to be important with the Panthers. Here's Dave Canales and what Jonathan Brooks brings as a running back.
Versatility, first and foremost. Our system calls for a back that can be used, of course, just in a traditional way, hand it to him. Then how can we get this player in space, being able to get him in perimeter screens, check downs. We got a really cool empty package where we use the backs, flex them out to get matchups, things like that. He's a bigger back. He's got range. There's so much that he brings from a versatility standpoint. That's probably the biggest thing that stood out. And then just vision, patience, contact balance, acceleration. Like, he's got it all. He's the best back in this class, and we were so fired up to just be able to bring him in and create that competition that Dan talked about.
Run the darn ball. That's what I think the message they're sending by drafting a running back in the second round is it's part of establishing their identity. Oh, no one else wanted to draft a running back until we did? That's because we want to run the ball more than everyone else in the league.
Well, someone had to be the first to take a running back.
I think they could have gotten it without trading up.
Well, I think they also moved down previously in that round as well. So let's keep that in mind in terms of context too here.
Yeah, it could have had, what was it, an extra fifth? On a team that needs fifths.
Well, that's what they got.
No, I'm saying they gave up the fifth to move up on that last little bit, right?
Oh, they got it in the third round. They recouped it when they moved down in the third round.
My point is, I'm not saying that they didn't net make up positives, including trading down from the top of the third or top of the second. I'm saying that they could have stayed where they were without going back up to get a running back that I mean, quite honestly, I don't think they should have taken a running back in the second because as the league showed, the value in running back was deeper. My point is this. They weren't trying to bleed every bit of value out of this pick. They wanted to get their running back in which most teams don't see value in, just the position as a whole. They wanted to get their guy to send a message to everyone, we are going to run the ball. And we are going to do it often. And I've used this stat in the past, but Rachaad White, in the 1 year that Dave Canales has been the play caller, the offensive coordinator for an NFL team last year in Tampa, Rachaad White was second in the league in touches. He had 272 carries. That's old school carries, turn and handoff, pitches, counters. And then he had 64 receptions. That is a ton of touches for your running back.
It's a lot of work.
So I don't think any one player is going to get all those touches for the Carolina Panthers, but I think Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders and now Jonathan Brooks, and not necessarily in that order, are going to be getting a ton of touches, which is one of the messages that you heard is run the darn ball, run the darn ball. If they haven't said it as explicitly as that, their actions have. But also another message they're sending is the path to making Bryce Young a better football player, a better quarterback, a better passer is to build his passing game off the running game. This group of decision makers for the Panthers did not draft the consensus premium positions. 3 of their first 4 picks were not quarterbacks, edge rushers, offensive tackles, cornerbacks. Only one of their first 4 picks was wide receiver. Those are kind of the 5 that get positional importance. Right? Oh, you're a second-round grade on our board, but you play offensive tackle, you'll probably be a first-round pick. Oh, you're a third-round pick on our board, but you're a corner, so you'll probably be a high second. Running backs, it's, oh, you're a first-rounder on our board, but you're a running back, so you'll probably be a third. Like that's how running backs works in reverse. And Jonathan Brooks, I'm not sure if in a traditional year, like he's nowhere near the prospect that Bijan Robinson or Jahmyr Gibbs were. Right? That's why they went high first. But those are the guys that tend to buck the trend, not the guy coming off the ACL injury. If there's one thing I know about this draft, I disagree with just like it's not always like a, political debate disagree where we're just so far on opposite ends of the spectrum that we're never going to see eye to eye. I disagree, though, on shades of gray with most of the picks that the Panthers made. But I cannot be confused with the team they are trying to put on the field. They are trying to be old school. They are trying to be a Panthers team that we recognize from the history books. They are trying to be defense and run the football and have a quarterback that's clutch enough to make a few plays on third down when you need him to. Other than that, turn and hand the ball off. So maybe that's why I disagree with some of their plays, because if I were an offensive coordinator, I wouldn't design my offense in the same way Dave Canales does. It would be a more modern offense. But I'll be darned if Panthers fans won't get jacked up for 6 consecutive handoffs. They will. It's in their DNA a bit. Keep pounding, right? Keep handing the ball off. And I have no doubt there's going to be stretches where they do that. I've told this story in the past, but it's one of my favorite stories from my playing career, where in high school we were up, 3 or 4 touchdowns on somebody. And my high school coach was the type of old school coach where if you had like a 2 or 3 score lead, no matter how good your quarterback and receivers were, you weren't attempting a pass for the rest of the game. We were going to keep the clock rolling, and we were going to run the football. And we were running a particular pull play where our left guard had to pull, and we were having success with it, and he kept doing it, and he kept doing it until one time we were in the huddle, and my guard looked at me and he, tell coach we can't run it anymore. I'm too tired. So, this is old school quarterbacking where you run to the sideline to get the play and then run in to call it in the huddle. So I ran to the sideline and I told coach, I said, Coach, his name was Pat. I said, Pat can't run the play, can't run 46 anymore. Coach said, took a breath, looked at me and said, tell Pat we're running 46 all night. And for the rest of the game, we just ran pull plays for him because coach was mad that he asked for a break. And we had a lead, so it wasn't a huge deal. I think Panthers fans would kind of love that offense. If it's just like, we're going to run the ball off tackle all night, right? When everyone in our stands was going, what are they doing? They're just running the same play over and over again. The Panthers fans would be going, they're just running the same play over and over again, and they can't stop them. Dave Canales is going to give you those moments. This draft proves it to me. He's going to give us those moments where he's just going, I don't know if the Falcons' run defense can stop Brooks, Hubbard, alternating up the middle over and over again. And he's going to be in the little headset of Bryce Young saying, tell them they're doing a great job picking up 4 yards a carry. Mm-hmm. We're just going to keep doing it.
Churning out 4 or 5 yards.
And they're just going to keep doing it. And this draft confirmed that. Every once in a while, maybe play action. Maybe. If it's 2nd and 8, you didn't get the 4 yards on first down. Maybe play action. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have our Canes Cup check-in on 99.9 The Fan coming up next. But before I tell you which current Cane will be featured in the check-in, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. If you get into a motorcycle accident, first thing you should do is call Law Tigers, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, before you call your insurance company. But as someone who rides a motorcycle, it's interesting now as a newer rider, you're part of a community now. That's something that I've learned. I've had multiple people come up to me when we've been out doing stuff here for the station at different things. Be like, hey, heard you ride. I actually have this type of bike and all this kind of stuff. Or running into people even at the grocery store and be like, hey, I saw you had a bike. I have this thing as well. You're part of a community. Much like when we're fans of a sports team, you're part of that community. Or maybe you're into some other things pop culture-wise, like comic books or movies, wrestling. You're part of that community too. So when it comes to your bike, when it comes to your gear, when it comes to the things that you have for yourself as a rider, Law Tigers is part of that community too. They are also motorcycle riders themselves. And that's something that you can trust when you contact Law Tigers if you are part of an accident, that they are going to take care of you for the fact that they're part of that community. They ride as well. So if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company, because the insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, again, they're riders too, so they understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what they mean to you, so they know exactly what you're going through when it comes to an accident. Your case evaluation is always going to be free, and Law Tigers does not get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
We have the Canes Cup check-in coming up next. Adam Gold was joined earlier by Tony D'Angelo. Snippets of that conversation coming up.
You're always close to the Canes with 99.9 The Fan.
Martinook banks it in. He scores! Jordan Martinook with the steal and the finish. And it's 4-3 Carolina. What a comeback!
Count on us to bring you every Canes game night and the latest Canes news from insider Adam Gold, your official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. It is playoff time. NHL, NBA, and baseball is in full swing. FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you bet your first $5. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul. Paul with a capital P, and sign up. Then you can bet on everything from slap shots to slam dunks to home runs, all on an app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. So get started today. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, when you place your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul, P-A-U-L, and get started. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at fanduel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, 4:33, so in about 15 minutes, we want your hottest takes. There's a lot going on in the sports world right now. There's a lot going on that pertains to us here in North Carolina and in the Triangle. We want your hottest takes. Get ready to call in with those. We want to hear them at 4:33. We're going to start 4:33 p.m. Right now, we're going to start with the Canes Cup check-in. It's time for the Cup check-in on 99.9 The Fan. Served up by Abbey Road Tavern and Grill in Cary and Apex, your neighborhood rock and roll sports bar. Adam Gold was joined earlier today by Tony D'Angelo, defenseman, who is in the active lineup and playing well for the Canes. Here's Adam Gold and Tony D.
3-1 in the series. I think you guys probably feel pretty good about being 3-1 up, even though maybe you would have loved to have closed it out and not had to play a game no more.
Yeah, of course. But anytime you can be up 3-1 in the series, no matter how you're playing, you'll take it. But, we think you're probably going to hear this a million times. We just talked about it a ton in the locker room, as well as we think we have another level to get to. So being up 3-1 and feeling that way is a good thing for us.
Oh, there's no question, right? Now, you don't take face-offs. I am curious, though. How much conversation is there about it? Because sometimes it's not the centerman that loses the draw. And I don't even, like Jack Drury on the power play goal that the Islanders scored early in the third period. That was actually a face-off win, right?
Yeah, it just bounces and ricochets, that kind of stuff.
Do you guys talk about face-offs? Maybe Rod doesn't talk about it with the whole group. Maybe he just talks about it with the centers. But do you have a theory on why the numbers might have been so lopsided?
Yeah, I think the Islanders, listen, it was a desperate game for them. They were doing everything in their power to start with the puck and bear down on every little thing, and they did a good job as far as the circle went. And we have some of the best centermen in the league, and I think his percentage-wise backs it up as well. So it was a fluky game as far as I say percentages go. They did a good job. You got to give them credit. They won the loose pucks, like you said. Not every loss is just a clean win or lose. They got there to the pucks, first on it, and they chip it back to their D man or whatever they do that counts as a win. And it made a big difference in the game, obviously. But I heard you saying as I was coming on, it's still a 2-2 game, and I think we're going to come back, and we trust our centers. Every face-off we go in, we're expecting to win. One tough game is what it is. They'll bounce back, and they'll be winning draws, and as defensemen and wingers, we'll do what we can to help them out too, to dig in.
Did Pierre Engvall get away with interference right off the face-off?
I'm not going to go there. It is what it is. That game's in the past. Right. But we got to just focus on what we can do better.
Tony D'Angelo. I couldn't bait you. Good for you. Tony D'Angelo here on the Adam Gold Show. Just stepping away from these couple of games real quick. I mean, I know you've had, this was a difficult year for you. How did you keep dialed in? Because every time you did draw in at the end of, toward the end of the season, I thought you played well. How did you keep dialed in and focused on, knowing that you'd be ready when you got your chance?
Yeah, I think that's probably the main thing that kept me ready. I am pretty confident in my game, and I don't think of myself as a 70 anywhere, a guy that shouldn't be playing. Turns out that's the way it went this year, and that is what it is. But things didn't shake out the way we panned out, the way we thought and the way I thought. But that's, I like these guys so much here. We're so close. I love the locker room. I love the fans and the people. I'm not gonna take my frustrations that I had during the season for not playing out on the ice. I got to come out there and try to be the best I can. And the most important thing is trying to win. And I had that in the back of my head all year. Obviously, things came up where who knows what was going to happen, deadline, this, that, but it didn't. And my mindset is at some point, hopefully, I'm going to be able to help this team win the whole thing, and it's our goal, and be part of it. And that's just the way I try to keep it. And like I said, it all comes back to the love I have for the guys in the locker room. It's not their fault. It's not anybody's fault. I want to be part of it. I'm part of it with them. I'm not going to sulk and cry about it and be selfish, because at the end of the day, what matters is Carolina Hurricanes winning, hopefully the whole thing, and not Tony DeAngelo's individual stats or this or that. So that's kind of the way I try to go about it.
And it comes at the expense of, I know, a very good friend. How's Brett doing?
Yeah, I mean that's the bad part about this business and the way things unfold sometimes, because it's one of my best buddies there and a guy that is irreplaceable to this franchise, to this team, and we need him in the lineup, and we're hoping he's going to be back as soon as possible. But like I've been saying, just try to fill the void that's left when he goes out for however long it may be, and do whatever I can to help the team win, just like he would be doing. So that's kind of the way we go about it. And I think everybody's on the same page. We got a real close group of guys, but when it's one of your best buddies, it's even tougher when you have to come in for them.
But you come into a situation where you're familiar with playing with Brady Shea. You played with him here. You played with him in New York as well. Has to make it easier for you.
Yeah, of course. No, Brady and I, and how close we are off the ice, too, I think plays a big role in the seamless transition, kind of to go back and different style play I am than Pesce's for him. Different type of defending. Different looking to jump, whatever. And but we've been together so long. So I've played in the league 8 years, and I think I've been on the same team as Brady for 7 of them, or 6 of them, whatever, 2 years apart. But so it's easy, and he's such a great player, such a great defender and skater, that it's nice to just be able to read off him in his defensive zone. He's skating and just find my guy, and I think so far we've done a good job. But like me and him have talked about too, we think we have another level to get to, and I think we can create more offense together and jump into play a little more. So there's more for all of us.
Once again, that was our Cup check-in on 99.9 The Fan, served up by Abbey Road Tavern and Grill in Cary and Apex, your neighborhood rock and roll sports bar. That was Adam Gold hosting the Adam Gold Show, which airs right before this one every weekday on 99.9 The Fan, checking in with Tony DeAngelo of the Carolina Hurricanes. One more reminder here, 4:33, so in less than 10 minutes, we're looking for your hottest takes. We'll give you some of ours, but we want to hear from you. Your hottest takes could be about the Canes, who you just heard from Tony D. Could be NFL, could be anything in between. Go ahead and get those ready. About 8 minutes. In the meantime, we need to hit the podium. The podium is simple. Now that the Canes are the subject of it, you have a gold, a silver, and a bronze medal to give away, to award, to honor a player with, but it's just from the last week. So from Monday to Monday, right? Just the last week. And we go ahead and we divvy them up. Now, I have to be honest. Gold and silver, I think, were fairly easy. They're not easy, but they fell into place for us quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Bronze took a little bit more of a to-do.
It took a moment, but it was relatively easy to figure out after.
I feel like giving given the gold and the silver, because we go in that order. We gold, then silver, then bronze. You always feel like, okay, you don't feel like you're cutting anybody, right? Because there's still a bronze. It's like, all right, this guy gets silver because you're like, so-and-so could still have bronze. When it's the bronze and everybody else you're telling is off the podium, it feels more like, oh, Jesus, so-and-so really off the podium? They actually played pretty well. So anyway, starting with bronze, Sebastian Aho gets the bronze.
Yep.
Game-winning goal, game-tying goal in a different game.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good. Pretty good from Sebastian Aho. And as I've said many, many times about Sebastian, in addition to those things, right, in addition to the big, flashy, obvious, oh, my goodness, that's so cool, I'm going to tell people I saw that, he does a lot of the things that you don't notice very, very well also. So it's actually, It's good when he scores the game-tying and the game-winning goals because it's easier to put him on the podium. But there are weeks where he'll have like, I don't know, a third of a point per game, and he still affects winning enough to like warrant consideration for the bronze because he does all the little things well. What do you have to add about Sebastian, Dennis?
The only thing I'd like to see him improve upon, just like all the other center icemen, can we get some better face-off play, please? Because that's actually a big part of their game is puck possession, and Rob Brindamore emphasizes this so much. Winning face-offs means you start with the puck, which means it allows them to play the way that they want to play. When you lose 2/3 of the face-offs like they did in Game 4, which is ironically they were better at as the game, like late in the game, they're a little bit better at it. But nonetheless, when you lose 2/3 of the face-offs, what are you starting your shifts with? Chasing the puck, which is the last thing that the Carolina Hurricanes want to do. So I think that's one thing that I would like to see him get better at. But when it comes to the goal-scoring department, yeah, game-tying goal when you needed it, and what proved to be the game-winning goal when you needed it in Game 3. So, yeah, the guy's doing what he's supposed to do in that category.
I told you this off air. I don't have the stats in front of me. This is an observation like you're just watching the game. They get booted from face-offs a ton. The Canes do.
It's been, for them for sure, but I've been watching other Stanley Cup playoff games, and it's like there's a lot of guys just getting kicked out of face-offs, and it's kind of hard to understand why at times.
It's confusing.
Like,
and
why it's so more often than others. I mean, I know the rules behind it, but it's like...
And obviously your win rate is less on once you're up against it, knowing if it happens again, it's the delay game. So, I don't know. Just be more within the rules. I don't know. It's a weird way to put it. Let's give a silver medal. Seth Jarvis. Playoff Jarvie is playing great. And he's I don't know, it's Johnny on the spot a little bit. Like, how many times can the puck come to him just like, between 10 and 20 feet diagonal off the left side of the goal where he's going to put it into the upper corner near side, like blocker side? Like, how many times is he going to be able to do that? But at the same time, he keeps doing it. And he executes it at a high level when he gets the opportunity. He's ready for it. I think Seth Jarvis is leveling up in a way that is very exciting for the Carolina Hurricanes, and he's 22 years old.
4 postseason games, 2 goals, 2 assists.
I had a conversation with, I have a friend that's a deep NBA fan. They're talking about Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
And it's just
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Every single compliment, and he's just outdueling like Kevin Durant in the first round. Like, very, very good player having a moment right now in the postseason. And every single like sentence ended with, and he's just 22. And I was going like, oh, that's a good argument. I should use that for Seth Jarvis. It was, he's outdueling Kevin Durant and he's doing this and he's just 22. He's making shots. He's the focal point of a team. He's leading a team of vets and he's just 22. He's making so-and-so who's already an all-star better, and he's just 22. And I started thinking, like, before this guy was even done talking, in my brain I was going, he's making Sebastian Aho, or he's making, whoever he's skating with, he's skated with a couple different lines recently, better, and he's just 22. He's scoring like a goal per game in the postseason, and he's just 22. Like, the exact same thing applied. So credit to Jarvis for being really, really good. And say it with me, and he's just 22.
He's just 22.
He's going to get better. Let's give a gold medal away. Freddie?
Yeah.
Freddie, I'm actually going to – we're getting ready here in 2 minutes to do our hottest takes, and we want to hear from you. We're going to open up the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. I'm hoping we hear from Ben, who tweeted at me, because he's got a hot take that's not very pro Freddie. And I think watching the games, I very rarely felt like Freddie's leaving a lot of meat on the bone there. Seems like he's, while not perfect and no one is, he's giving his team a chance to win the game every single time he goes out there. And as a goaltender in the playoffs, I think that's pretty much the idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not going to shut everybody out, but you're giving your team a chance. And he's mixing in the circus saves. He's mixing in a windmill, the soccer goal diving sideways save. He's mixing in a few of those. Did I just hear myself in my ears?
You did. That's an accident on my end.
I was giving the Heister Automotive Group hotline, it sounded like.
Exactly.
919-860-5326. Was that me interrupting me to say get on the clock? Get back
so.
on schedule?
I think
All right,
so.
fine. Past me. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We want your hottest takes. Bring the fire, spit the flames. Call them in now, 919-860-5326.
So what is Ben's take? Go ahead and read it. He said that Freddie's basically just giving up soft goals outside of one?
Earlier today, I said that Freddie was playing well, and he's been playing well in pretty much every game. Ben responded on Twitter with, no, Freddie hasn't played well. Every goal he's let in has been softies, except the overtime winner. Coochie is better. Obviously talking about Pyotr Kochetkov.
Okay, so I don't get how for example the play that Brett Pesce got hurt on, where the power play goal that went off of Pesce's skate and went in. Like, is that on Freddie?
I think
that's the thing. It's just like, what do you define as soft? I mean, like Freddie makes a good save on a power play in the other day. On a penalty kill for the Canes, I should say, and the puck just happens to kick directly to an Islanders player who buries it. It's like, all right, it happens.
I also think you're only telling part of the story of a goaltender when you only talk about the goals they allow and you don't take about the goals that they take away, right? The circus saves matter as well, right? The kind of, oh, you took that one away matters just as much as, oh, you let that one up.
Like Game 3, for example, he slides across, makes this crazy save with his glove when they're up 1-0 on Noah Dobson, and then sure enough, within like 2 minutes, not even, I should say, Dmitry Orlov goes down and rips one to make it a 2-0 game. Like, if Freddie doesn't make that save, we're tied 1-1. Who knows if they win game number 3? We could be 2-2 coming back here to Raleigh for all we know. So,
I think Freddie's playing well. That's my point. But we asked for the hottest of takes, and that's exactly what Ben gave us. So that's the type of thing we're looking for here. We want your hottest takes on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Call in now and give them to us. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Looks like we have our first hot take here. Let's just hear it live on air. Barry in Smithfield is on the line. Barry, thank you very much for calling in. Spit flames for us.
Well, I hate to say this. I just hope that Canes can make it past the Islanders, but I'm not sure that he can.
You're not sure the Canes can make it past the Islanders. Give us some reason.
The Rangers. I'm sorry, the Rangers.
Oh.
Rangers. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. That's a little less spicy, to be honest with you. I thought you took the hottest take and really ran with that. Was on Olympic level.
They're going to win this series, but I'm just kind of worried about them making it past the next round.
Okay.
I hope they do. I pull for them all the time.
All right. And is there a reason why, or you just think this team is a little lacking?
Well, they like you said, their 5-on-5 hadn't been really good. They need to really take off. Some of their bigger stars need to start making some goals.
All right. I appreciate the hot take, Barry. Call back in anytime. Hey, the 5-on-5 is a legitimate gripe. Right? When you're scoring, you want your special teams to be great, but at the same time, you're going to spend a lot more time on the ice in 5-on-5, and that's a legitimate gripe. Gosh, I thought they really brought the fire. See, he said, I don't know if they can pass the Islanders. I said,
scorching, okay. All right.
All right, you're just gonna call for the 4 straight wins for the Islanders. Let's go to Vince in Raleigh. He has a hot take for us. Vince, thank you very much for calling in. What's your Fire Flames take for us?
You're welcome, gentlemen. Thanks very much for taking my call. Yeah, you guys were talking about B's for the draft for the Panthers. I'm saying C at best for just a few obvious reasons. First of all, can never have enough DBs in this league, and you passed up on either Dijon, but also Kool-Aid McKinstry. They've shot at both of them. That's just egregious. I'm sorry. That's a letter grade down right there. But then there's a couple others. First of all, I think that they had a shot late at a guy like Payton Wilson, which would, by the way, increase a lot of eyeballs in their weekend broadcast while they're rebuilding. But they opted to pass, and I would guess the reason they passed on Payton Wilson is probably because he has a history of injuries. But then they took a running back who just is getting over an ACL. Like, the whole thing is just like a mess.
I'm going to give you a little. I'm going to give you a little bit of context. I'm going to give you a little bit of context on that one. The reports are out there that Payton Wilson, and if you listen to the show, you know I'm the biggest Payton Wilson fan out there.
Oh yeah, me too.
The reports out there that he doesn't have an ACL in one of his legs, which I don't even fully understand how that's possible. But
yeah, I don't know how. It'd be kind of hard to move laterally.
But I guess
kind of acceleration.
There's a few historical examples. DeJuan Blair played in the NBA without ACLs. Hines Ward didn't have an ACL in one leg, so I guess it's possible. But I think that's what scared him off. Let me ask you this about
that would be scary to me. I didn't know that, and I don't think anybody really.
I don't think anybody did either
after the draft, so I didn't know.
Let me ask you one more question. Would it change your opinion on the corners if they, back channel handshake with Stephon Gilmore, have him coming back?
Well, yeah, I mean, that would help a lot, but that's an if,
Yep.
When you have things in your hands on draft days, it's not draft day anymore. When you have something in your hands or right in front of you on the table, you have to be a little bit more, you have to jump on it, it seems to me. And it seems to me that they missed some opportunities, and it's too bad because I thought they could have improved themselves more. Plus, I would have liked them to take McConkey rather than the receiver they got. But that's just me.
Yep.
All right,
Vince,
gentlemen, thanks so
appreciate
much.
the
Have
call.
a good afternoon.
Thank you very much for calling in and sharing your hot take. Dwayne in Smithfield is up next. Dwayne, it says here you have a Canes hot take, and I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, first of all, Freddie's playing amazing. I don't know what that guy's talking about.
It was a hot take.
Second
It was
of all,
a hot take.
Jack Drury.
What about Jack Drury?
Not a big fan. He's great defensively, zero offensive punch. Would actually love to see Lemieux get in there a few games and see what he can bring to the table. He's got a heck of a shot that he doesn't really take that often, but I think it could give something to the Canes to bring them over the top a little bit. And that the Canes need to stop skill matching the teams that they play, as they play up to the same. It seems like when they play bottom feeder teams, they play bottom feeder hockey, and when they play great teams, they play great hockey. So they just got to get past the Islanders, and we'll see a better Canes.
All right, Dwayne, I appreciate it. I do know that Dennis is a bit of a fan of Jack Drury. Dennis, do you want to field this one?
I think Dwayne. I'm going to keep you up here, Dwayne. This is where I'm actually going to disagree with you on this one, because here's something that Jack Drury provides. This is the reason why he's actually skating back at center today, is because he's like one of the few guys that's actually been consistently winning face-offs for the team. Something that Brendan Lemieux cannot provide for this team, which they need to have. And he's a much better defensive player, which is what you need in the playoffs right now. You need someone who can be defensively responsible, and that's something that Jack Drury provides. And he gives you flexibility to play on both the power play and the penalty kill. His versatility is really what matters.
Yeah, as a coach, I'm just not loving Jack Drury. Not loving him.
All right, appreciate the call. Appreciate the hot take.
All right.
I appreciate the opportunity you gave me to turn Dennis loose on that one. And as soon as he brought up Jack Drury, I was like, here it goes. This is going to be a good time.
And there's a reason why that Kotkaniemi's got moved to the wing now, and that Jack Drury's back at center.
Yep, Kuzi and Drury.
I mean,
that was fun. That was a good time for me.
Yes, it was.
That was hot takes, the hottest takes here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was a good time. We may bring that back. We may have to bring that back because I had fun with that.
I think at 4:33 tomorrow we should do our first goal contest like we did. By the way, shout-outs to Nate.
Nate the Great in Raleigh.
Nate from Raleigh picked Seth Jarvis first period. He nailed it, so Nate is won himself a signed puck.
Won himself a signed puck, and we'll do that again tomorrow. 4:33, you can call in with your player and period for the first goal for the Canes in Game 5. So actually, fans, maybe you should be a little excited that they lost Game 4 because it gives you another chance to win a signed puck.
See?
Silver linings. It's a small one, but
good
it's
times for all.
It's a silver lining. Or you can, for bragging rights, you can stop by. We'll be outside PNC Arena on the Plaza. You can stop by and just tell us verbally, hey, my name is Joe Schmo, and I think it's going to be Stahl in the second, or whatever you want to go with. So that's coming up tomorrow. We will be outside PNC Arena.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, personal loan, 100% debt-free. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value it's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money out for that home improvement project you've been wanting to get done. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to everybody that called in with their hottest takes. You know what I realized we didn't do, Dennis?
What's that?
We didn't give our hot takes.
Oh.
We may have to mix those in throughout the show because I have one written down that I want to get to you. In the meantime, we're going to talk a little Panthers draft. Jatavian Sanders, me and the Panthers. My take from pre-draft and the Panthers mind meld in the first pick of the 4th round. I'll explain next.
Sanja loves to bake, but her feet, they were throbbing. Then one day, I found a solution. Arch supports from the Good Feet store. Have foot pain? Good Feet could help.
You too can live the life you love with Arch supports from the Good Feet store.
It's Truck Month at your local Ram dealer, and now's the time to get great deals on our award-winning lineup of trucks. At Ram, all we do is trucks. Maybe that's why Ram is the most awarded light-duty and heavy-duty truck brand over the last 5 years. Ram trucks feature innovative technology and uncompromised power and dependability that give you the power to strengthen your truck game. Go to Ram.com for great deals and hurry in for the best selection of trucks during Ram Truck Month. Based on total full-size pickup awards 2019 to 2023 CYTD, based on standard and available features offered.
Don't sweat a swing and a miss thanks to insurance tokens from BetMGM. Hey, it's Victoria Vodnecker here for BetMGM, and you can add an MLB wager to your bet slip and activate your bet insurance token. If your bet with the token applied doesn't hit, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets up to the specified maximum amount. That's another chance to step up to the plate. Whether you want to bet on a no-run first inning, try a signature bet, or take a home run prop, BetMGM has a loaded lineup for all 9 innings all season long. Go to your BetMGM account today to claim your bet insurance token and get your stake back in bonus bets if your MLB wager using the token doesn't win. Only at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks and official sports betting partner of MLB. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older only. North Carolina only. Existing customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor things you love to do. Hiking, jogging, biking, going to the beach. You name it, it can't be done. Don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints like your knees, hips, back, and shoulder. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Revolutionary treatments for joint pain are here. Call 919-400-5473 with locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
811 is the first step to getting your buried underground utilities like gas, electric, or internet lines located. Learn more at nc811.org. Sponsored by North Carolina 811 and the North Carolina Association of Broadcasters in cooperation with the station.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
April is here. And if your windows won't open for fresh air or seal tight to keep out pollen and bugs, then talk to Window Nation right now. For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you could save. Plus, you could save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. With proven quality, you'll get affordable windows that meet or beat the national brands. Don't miss out. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
The Body Armor State Games are in Charlotte this June, North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, we're taking the drive out for a drive. Hopefully we'll be driving it straight down the middle. No slice. We'll be broadcasting live from the newly opened Top Golf in Durham this Friday. We'll be talking sports from one of Top Golf's 100-plus climate-controlled hitting bays from 3 to 6, and we'll be taking in all that Top Golf offers. I might have a hard time with Top Golf offers. From its chef-driven menu, delicious, to the interactive games. Join us Friday for some fun at Top Golf's third location in North Carolina, Top Golf Durham at 4901 Top Golf Way. We'll be out there partaking in all of the festivities that Top Golf has to offer, and we encourage you to come out and do the same. Say it. Oh. Play that again? Is that's supposed to sound like it's going in the hole?
So, actually, if you remember from the movie Happy Gilmore, when he did the Subway commercial, so when he teased the sub up and drives it and it, like, lands right in the guy's mouth.
This delicious cold-cut combo.
Exactly.
So it's not when he hits it the length of the street and knocks the lady out of the window?
Shouldn't have been standing there.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Jatavian Sanders, 4th-round pick by the Panthers. The only pick that the Panthers and I absolutely aligned on. It was all of the moons and the planets and the sun. It was the eclipse, but with more, we aligned perfectly. The alignment is what they call it out there in Charlotte. First of all, Dave Canales, this is what he had to say about Sanders as a tight end.
Versatility, right? You guys, I sound like a broken record, but it's really what we're looking for, for our system and the things that JT, as he goes by, the things that he showed on film, just being able to use him as a receiver, use him in the run game in creative ways, he's definitely not the traditional inline type of tight end. He's a guy that can do a lot of different things. He's made some dynamic plays with the ball in his hand, and he's really strong at the catch.
Here's what he is. He's a safety blanket for Bryce Young. He is a big, mobile, athletic, wide catch radius tight end, and they got my second-best tight end in the draft in the 4th round after 3 other tight ends were taken in the top 3 rounds. That's good value drafting. That's drafting for need, and it's getting someone that aligns with what the Panthers wanted to be as a team. That's great. And do you know what else it's showing? The Panthers, like we've talked about this a lot, they have more problems than they could potentially have solutions this offseason. More gaps in their roster than they have money in free agency and draft picks in the draft to solve. So you can learn something but based on what they go to fix first, right? You can learn something based on what moves they made first. Center. That's something they feel like they can get by with a Band-Aid, right? Austin Corbett, Brady Christensen backing them up. These are guys that play guard most of their career, but they're like, we can get by with them at center. Right? That second corner spot opposite J.C. Horn, which may be the first corner spot if J.C. Horn does what he's done the past few years and gets hurt. They're looking around going, they traded out of the 39th pick, knowing Cooper DeJean and Kool-Aid McKinstry, 2 of the top corners on everyone's draft board, were still available. That's them saying, we can get by with Dane Jackson, a guy we know from a place, and Troy Hill, a guy who we trust kind of, and they're just like, we'll be fine. But tight end, they audibly said we cannot just get by with a tight end. Hayden Hurst couldn't just get by with Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst has been a starting tight end in the NFL for years now. Panthers said, we can't just get by with him. They cut him with no cap savings, $50,000 in cap savings. No, it's a lot to us, not a lot to an NFL salary cap. They couldn't just get by with Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas. They still made the move for Jatavian Sanders. This is them saying, like, if you face a list of 10 things you got to do, a 10-thing to-do list, tight end's going to move near the top. I think that's interesting. And Jatavian Sanders can solve that because of the skill set he brings. There was this is going to annoy me. Oh, this is going to annoy me a bunch. There was a mic'd up from the combine of, I think it was the Rams weren't really at the combine. There was a GM at the combine who was watching somebody and they liked him. They said, oh, this player plays fast on film. And you know what else they said? They were mic'd up. They said, I hope he doesn't run fast. They were watching the 40-yard dash. There was a guy they liked who they knew was fast on the field, and they said, I hope he doesn't run fast at the 40. That makes sense, right? They want him to fall in the draft so they can get a value, and they're going, oh, if he runs like a 4.6, it's going to, they're talking about a defensive back maybe. If he runs a 4.6, he's going to tumble in the draft, but we know from the GPS data and from watching film, he's field fast, so what do we care if he runs fast in shorts and a T-shirt at the combine? I think the Panthers got that Jatavian Sanders bump. If you watch Texas play, if you watch him on the field, he's running past fast guys, right? Fast defensive backs are running full speed and are stride for stride with him, and then he ran a 4.69 at the combine. I think the Panthers went, ooh, love that. He might fall to us in the 4th, right? When he went from a projected 2nd to a projected 4th, they went, ooh, love that.
There he was.
And oh, by the way, we know from watching him on football fields, like actually in the field of competition, he plays fast. That's great. You can't just get by with anybody, and they got somebody who's not just anybody in the 4th round. And they made a statement by picking him that he's going to help Bryce a lot. Because do you know who else fell? Troy Franklin, wide receiver from Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
At one point in time, a projected first-round pick. A lot of the way through the draft process was talked about as a kind of late first, maybe mid-second pick. He was still on the board in the 4th. Panthers had to choose between Sanders and Franklin. They took Sanders. Franklin went the very next pick to Denver, where he gets to play with his college quarterback and Bo Nix. That to me was the Panthers saying, this tight end helps our quarterback more than a value that Troy Franklin would have been at wide receiver. Bryce Young, I think, has to be pleased. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We still have our starting 5 coming up and significantly more. I still want to give you my hottest take. I don't even know if it's the hottest because I give a lot of takes. I've got a hot take for you. Maybe we'll mix that into the starting 5. Right now, we'll mix in a little bit of information about my partners at Capital Financial Advisory Group. If there's one thing my good friend Coach Pete hates, it's financial termites, which is why he works tirelessly to help you exterminate and eliminate them from your plan. Do you really know how much you are paying in fees? Do you really know the amount of risk your account is exposed to, or how much the cost of commissions is actually coming out of your account with money from your account that has money earmarked for your future? Coach Pete will help you regain control of your foundation for retirement and see you to and through a worry-free retirement. Call now for Coach Pete's famous and elaborate total retirement plan that features 22, yes, 22, you heard that right, 22 steps that go along with the process of identifying your unique financial composition and the best way to navigate the journey along the way to and through retirement. Coach Pete is committed to helping you retire like a champion, getting you through the financial red zone, over the goal line, and into that retirement end zone. Call 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215, or text Tim to 600-700. If you give them a call, make sure they know we sent you. Just let them know Tim sent you, or you can text my name, Tim, to 600-700. We'll take a break. When we come back, the starting 5. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Getting ready to take on spring? Make your first move with the reliable performance and power of Steel battery tools. From hedge trimmers and mowers to string trimmers and more, Save on select steel battery tools. Right now, save $50 on the RMA 460V lawnmower battery set. Real STIHL. Find yours at STIHLdealers.com. With AK30 battery and AL101 charger. Offer valid for a limited time only while supplies last. See participating dealer for details.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every point, every game, every layup, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game or a player goes 2 for 2 at the free throw line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, official partner of the Charlotte Hornets. 21 plus only. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% on your choice of any 3 or more A.O. Smith water heaters. Plus, get an extra 5% off every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Get low prices on the materials you need today because Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Autoville Car Wash has been trusted for 55 years for high-quality service. We'll clean your car from the inside out. Now through June 2nd, buy 2 Super Poly Process Wash tickets at any Autoville for just $55.
People can tell when you Autoville.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoot! He scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We had 80s yesterday, again today, and the rest of the week, highs will be in the 80s. Tonight is mostly clear, 61. Partly cloudy for your Tuesday, the high 85. A few showers and storms possible in the evening.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 146 points to 38,386. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities. The Body Armor State Games are in Charlotte this June, North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The starting 5 served up by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Visit gotbryan.com. That's gotbryan.com. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, starting 5, starts, as always, with number 5. Dennis, what kind of local guys got drafted in the NFL draft?
Some local guys, obviously, we saw Cedric Gray from UNC, was a 4th-round pick out of North Carolina, went to the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, Payton Wilson was drafted from NC State in the 3rd round to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've also seen guys sign as undrafted free agents. I know Savion Jackson, who played at NC State, signed. Of course, I can't remember off the top of my head, of course, who he signed with. Of course not. Devin Carter, who used to play at Clayton High School, played at NC State before he went to West Virginia, signed with the Carolina Panthers as an undrafted free agent. So a lot of guys with local ties that ended up getting picked up by some different teams as well. I know Shaheem Battle signed an undrafted free agent deal. So a lot of guys locally were picked up in some way, shape, or form. And also former NC State quarterback Devin Leary was drafted in the 6th round.
A few that stood out to me. One, Cedric Gray going to Tennessee. You brought him up. I thought he would have been better fit for a contender because he's kind of plug and play. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He's going to get the opportunity to make a boatload of tackles in Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
As a sure tackler that works left and right very, very well, he's going to get a chance to really put up some stats. From Wake Forest, Malik Mustafa going, I think it was the 4th round to the Niners.
That's right.
You know how, like, if Dan Morgan drafts Trevin Wallace for the Panthers, it's like a feather in the cap, right? It's like Dan Morgan, the linebacker, picked me to be his linebacker. Well, John Lynch with the Niners picking a safety, that's pretty high praise right there, right? So Mustafa going to the Niners, I don't know if he'll be asked immediately to do much on defense, but he'll be a special teamer for him. And there's some special teams rules that are changing this year that make some of those roles even more important. So it's an opportunity for him to really, make a big-time career out of playing in the NFL.
By the way, if you want more local ties, especially maybe guys that played high school football here in the state of North Carolina, head over to highschoolot.com. They have a full list of guys that were drafted, highschoolot.com. They have Nick Stevens and the guys over there put together a list every year of guys with local ties or ties to the state of North Carolina that get drafted as well. By the way, speaking of ties to the state of North Carolina, Sam Hartman, former Wake Forest quarterback, signed as an undrafted free agent with the Washington Commanders,
where he will be backing up Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Those have to be the 2 oldest rookie quarterbacks in a single draft class rookie class in the history of college or NFL football. What is that, a 6th-year senior and a 5th-year senior, 6th-year senior? Jaden Daniels was there for a long time as well.
Daniels played, I think, 5 years of college football. Hartman was 6. Hartman's going to turn 25 at the end of July. So when training camps get started, Sam Hartman will be turning 25 years old. He's going to be a rookie in the NFL. He's still older than Sam Howell.
If you want an impact player from the air or from he was from West Charlotte, but obviously made a ton of headlines this year in college. That went to, I think, a really good spot for him. Tez Walker to the Ravens.
Oh yeah,
I think the Ravens
4th round pick.
They obviously have Mark Andrews at tight end.
Mm-hmm.
They have I'm blanking on his name, the Boston College kid from Flowers, Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers. Yep.
Neither of those really work the downfield. Tez Walker's going to go. He's going to be a straight line guy for them over the top. And every time one of those safeties goes, oh, we should guard Mark Andrews, let me buzz my feet or let me take a step down, Lamar's going to launch it, and Tez Walker's going to have to run underneath it, and that's kind of what he does best. So I think that's a really, really good spot for him, just as far as a local guy that we haven't talked to making it into the NFL. Jacob Monk as a center, drafted by the Packers, so maybe Jordan Love's future center there at a Duke, another North Carolina kid. So a whole bunch in the draft from the state of North Carolina. I always like when those rankings come out. Oh, Texas and Florida, the most drafted. California. How many people are in those states? Let's go per capita.
Yeah.
That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
I went to the Durham Bulls over the weekend.
Okay.
Saturday evening, the wife, my son, we go to the Durham Bulls. First of all, the Bulls got smoked. Just was not great for the Bulls.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. The opposing team hit the Bull home run.
There you go. Let's get the steak.
It's always kind of fun. The junior, their stud third baseman, who's probably going to be on the Rays any day now, made a couple plays, had a couple chances at some barehanded defensive plays, made one of them, so that's cool. It's always, if he goes on to be an MLB All-Star, you want the story of him making a good play when you were there, not like, I saw him go 0 for 4 and made 2 errors. It's like, oh, he made a sweet play. Oh, we knew it then. But the part of the night that surprised us, right? So we're thinking, this is American is baseball and apple pie, right? We're going to a baseball game, and it was my 3-year-old's first Durham Bulls game. We stopped in the merch shop, got him a hat on the way in, which he refused to wear. But we're going in. We're thinking this is going to be a wholesome event. Did not know it was Star Wars night for the Durham Bulls. Which, yeah, if it's just a regular night, you're kind of excited, right? You're just like, hey, it's a special night. They do Seinfeld night. They do Star Wars night, whatever. By the way, Jerry Seinfeld turning 70 today. Unrelated, but fun fact. The 3-year-old, my son, not down with all the Star Wars characters walking around the event. Not down with the Darth Vader lightsaber battles that took place in the outfield between innings. All of it kind of scared him, which is not what you're hoping for when you bring your son to a Durham Bulls game. You're thinking like, oh, this is going to be great. He's going to fall in love with baseball. And then we're going to be able to play catch in the backyard, and it's going to be so wholesome. It's going to be field of dreams. Turns out when we were in the car driving home, right, and he was getting tired, so we're trying to talk to him to make sure he stays awake because we don't want the nap in the car to ruin bedtime. And we're asking, oh, what's your favorite part? And all he wanted to say was, I didn't like that guy. And that guy, of course, being it was Emperor
Palpatine.
There you go.
The
Stormtroopers, not a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Boba Fett was walking around, didn't have as much reaction. Boba Fett did kind of, I don't know if I don't want to get Boba Fett in trouble, but did kind of open the mask and go, it's okay, I'm just a person in here, which was a big help for us as far as making him not terrified.
No.
Because then we could say the other people in the mask were just like the other one that showed you. But advice to those of you with toddlers. Check to see if it's Star Wars night before you bring your toddler to their first game with the Durham Bulls. And if so, I'm not saying don't go. I'm just saying play some of the Star Wars cartoons with them before you get there so you can introduce them to the characters. Maybe they'll be a little less afraid. Because I don't know when's the next time we're going to get him to a Bulls game. He's going, the bad guys are in there, which isn't wholly inaccurate when you take him to Star Wars night. But other than that, it was a great time. Like I said, weather was awesome. The park's great. We did the whole hot dog and all that kind of stuff. Can't beat it on a lovely night.
It's always a fun time there at the DBAP.
That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
Andrew Carr announced he is transferring to Kentucky. Andrew Carr starting, what we call him, power forward?
Yeah.
4-man for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons last 2 years. Hit the portal, is going to Kentucky.
Wow. It's a big loss for Steve Forbes out there in Wake Forest.
Big time. And to that I also say, hurts, doesn't it, Wake Forest? Hurts to develop Andrew Carr for 2 years into a player that's really darn good, and you think you're going to be able to reap the benefits of that development, and you gave him all of this court time to develop his game, to refine his three-point shot, only for him to take that talent and go somewhere else? Hurts, doesn't it? For those of you that don't know, I went to the University of Delaware. Andrew Carr did start his career at the University of Delaware, where he went for 2 years, became an all-CAA pick, led him to a conference championship, had 17-13 in that conference championship, had a great old time, and then he took that after 2 years and transferred to Wake Forest. So the fact that, this is a saying. There's a saying for this. Now, normally this has to do with relationships, but it applies to this situation. How they found you is how they'll leave you. How they found you is how they'll leave you. Normally that's about like cheating. I don't think he cheated. I think he's doing what's best for himself. And I think it's a really cool opportunity to play basketball at Kentucky. I do not fault the young man at all. But I do know from experience, it hurts. You start playing and you start thinking about the future. Which means, by the way, the end of the season Wake Forest cons and cons that we did, confidence and concerns, I was really confident that their 5 starters who I really liked all had eligibility if they wanted to come back. Starting to look like most of them are going to have to be replaced. Boopy Miller in the transfer portal, Andrew Carr gone. There's always kind of a conversation about Hunter Salas leaving as well. Had some pro prospects. There's some work to be done for Steve Forbes as far as putting that team back together again. Good luck, Andrew Carr. Do you know what I think is the problem here?
What's that?
A school like Delaware, and I'll just say a school like Delaware because that's what we're talking about. I think we actually kind of have to be happy that Andrew Carr ends up at Kentucky or Wake Forest. Because then when we're recruiting, we can say, come here. If you ball out, you'll have the opportunities to go to the bigger places. And I just hate that has to be our existence. But as a mid-major program, I think that has to be Delaware's existence, where you're like almost offering yourself up as a stepping stone. It's like, hey, like it's almost like you're recruiting to instead of saying like we put 3 guys in the NBA over the last 10 years, you're like we put 2 in the ACC and 3 in the SEC in the last 5 years. They were both sophomores. It's pain. That's number, 3? Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2 of us.
Panthers draft. I give them a B-. I give them a B-.
I give them a B+.
B+. Where do you think we differ?
I think your big thing is like the quote unquote value of the picks of some of the guys that they took. Like
I think
Jonathan Brooks 2nd round, things like that.
I think if there's better players on the board when you take your player, I don't think I can, in good faith give that a good selection. Here's where I think our difference is. And correct me if I'm wrong on this.
Okay.
You very much grade on like process.
Process and plan and execution of said process and plan. Along with who they take.
Yeah, as long as that. I mean, but I'm much more looking at did you take the best player available, and you kind of bring in more of a they wanted to get a running back or they wanted to make this their priority as far as roster building, and they were able to do that. The other thing that I think is a little interesting is they took a pick in every round.
Yeah.
They did not come into the what was it? They had coming in. They had 6 picks, but 2 of them were in the 2nd round, and I think they had 2 in the 6th also, and no 7th. Like there was this hodgepodge of kind of very tampered with their assortment of picks. Right? Obviously, every time a draft comes around, you're given, I don't know how far in advance you can trade, but you're given 7 picks every round, right? 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. The Panthers took 1 in every round, but only 2 of them were, only one of them was their original pick. And I think part of that is because Dan Morgan and Dave Canales and Brant Tillis and all these guys that came together to form the new Brain Trust came in, looked at what Scott Fitterer and the previous regime did, and went, "Shoosh, we gotta get back to square one on this one.
Yeah, we gotta clean up.
Like
here.
what? Yeah, like they needed a demo day where they just came in and first time you move into an apartment, I just gotta clean everything before I bring my stuff in here. Like they just wanted to get back to neutral, and in a lot of ways they were able to do that. Obviously, they weren't able to get near. Like the number 1 overall pick, which before the trade for Bryce Young, that would have rightfully been the Panthers. But they did get into the 1st round, the last pick of the 1st round. They did do a bunch of moving up and down, but they ended with 1 pick in each round, and they got their 2nd rounder back next year. Or not their 2nd rounder, but a 2nd rounder back next year, which was still part of the give up for for Bryce Young. Yeah, I thought this was interesting, and I got to give a hat tip to Adam Gold on this one. I was on Adam's show between the first and the second and third round, so Friday day, I was on Adam Gold's show. And he had a fun fact. He had a stat that was nobody had ever traded back in the second round and gotten a day 2 pick that same day. So what they did was they would trade back, and you could pick up a fourth, or you could pick up a second, or a 2 fourths, or a day 2 pick the next year. The Panthers went by trading back in the second round, picked up a second round pick the next year, which, based on what Adam told me, that's about as good as you could do.
I think the most recent time it happened was 2019 with the Saints and Dolphins.
Okay,
the Saints picked up an extra 2020 second-round pick as part of that.
So
that's the last time. I remember looking at it when Chris Lee and I of WREL Sports were doing Panthers Playbook. Last time it happened was 2019, that draft, because I was saying, hey, depending on how far you move down, Dan Morgan, you might be able to get that second-round pick in next year's draft, and they were able to make it happen.
Picking up the second rounder next without trading back from 33 even was a win.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. I like a lot of the process. I like their execution of acquiring and moving on from picks. I like the execution of going in with a plan. I just think a lot of the picks they made, there were better players available, which that's why it's a B-, right? Like I'm not calling home to your parents to say, hey, you're not turning in papers. But I'm not putting you on an honor roll either. You're solidly in the middle. And if you're a Panther fan, solidly in the middle might be a massive upgrade.
Huge upgrade.
When you look at how many players are even on the roster from recent draft picks. It's.
I mean, gosh, look back to 2022. The only guy there are 3 guys that played on your team last year from your 2022 class. So that made it to year 2. That was Ike Ekwonu, Amari Barno, and Cade Mays. Cade Mays being the backup offensive lineman who probably won't be on the roster this season. And you have Amari Barno, who's a backup edge rusher, special teamer, great at what he does. And you have Ike Ekwonu.
The ball is still in the air.
That's it. That's all you have from your 2022 class.
So literally, all you need to do to improve on your drafting is have 4 guys on the roster
in 2 years.
With years left on their rookie contracts.
Yeah.
You have to not actively move on from bargain basement players in the next 2 years, and it's a massive win. I think they'll do that.
I think it was Brandon Smith, the linebacker from Penn State. They drafted in the 4th round that year. They gave up 2 5th-round picks, traded up into the 4th round to draft him, and he didn't even make it through training camp last year.
All you got to do is have 4 of these guys around in 2026, just generically around, and it's an improvement.
I will say this: it feels nice for Carolina Panthers. It actually seems like they have a plan. It hasn't felt like they had a plan in a long, long time. They have a plan, and they're executing said plan to the best of their ability with what they have to work with. And it's refreshing if you're a Panther fan to say, we actually have a plan in a direction where we're trying to go.
That actually you helped me crystallize my worries. They had a plan. I think they might have been a little overeager to execute the plan. I think they might have been a little blinders on. Instead of a few things that the draft might have given them an opportunity to find more value, they were like, nope, this is what we're doing. And then they went and did it.
They needed to have a plan, and they needed to stick to something, and they did.
See, I don't necessarily know if I agree with that. I don't think you need to stick with something. I think sometimes you got to let the draft dictate what you do. But they did very much go in and say, this is what we want to do, and they did exactly what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's number 2. Let's get to number 1. Go 1! Canes lost Game 4, first round to the Islanders. They lost Game 4. In the scheme of things, that might be it, right? 2 years from now when we're talking about this postseason, we might just go, they lost Game 4. Could be something bigger than that. We'll have to wait and see. But they lost Game 4. Now it's all about making sure the things that held you back in Game 4 don't hold you back in Game 5. Here's Jordan Stahl, the captain, on something he thinks they might need to do more of.
Well, yeah, I mean, our game is exactly that. It's having the puck and playing their end and putting on pressure, and you got to start with the puck. So they did a good job in draws, and we got to be better there.
Control the puck. Who would have guessed A Canes player saying they need to control the puck more. Oh, he fits. I mean, there's a reason why he's been that guy for so long, and he's still around. One thing that comes with that, and we've talked about it a few times, got to win the faceoffs. Right? You can't possess the puck. You can't control the puck if they have the puck. So win the faceoffs. That was something that was different about Game 4 that they struggled with. I mean, for lack of a better term, win. Like Stahl, he's one of those guys. Aho in the centers, go out there, win those faceoffs, and maybe you will control the puck more, and you will have the more opportunities, because it does. And I've noticed this a ton in this series specifically. When the Canes, like, if they get a offensive possession that goes like 30 seconds, it's going to go 2.5 minutes. Like, it's like once they get into that rhythm where they're taking shots and they're taking it off the board and they're whipping it around and they have possession, there's usually an Aho or a Kuzi kind of looking to make creative passes, and there's, like, as soon as they get into that rhythm, it's going to go on for a while. And you're going to tire out the other guys on the ice. You're going to keep it in the zone, and you're going to get a ton of opportunities. Now, whether if they turn into goals or not, obviously they didn't a ton in Game 4. But there's that moment where it's like, oh, they're in it, right? Oh, they're cycling through. Oh, they got it. And then you just know it's going to be 2.5, 3 minutes of in the offensive zone, and it's going to be really fun to watch. They need more of that. But the thing is, they just need like the first 30 seconds, and then I guarantee you they get the next 2 minutes. Like, they need the first 30 seconds, and I guarantee you another long possession is going to develop out of it. So get the puck, get it in, get it moving, creative passing, and then you just let your instincts take over, right? They've put together this group of forwards specifically, but you mix in Burns and Shea and D'Angelo now. You mix in Orlov. And this group of forwards and those particular defensemen, there's so much vision on the ice. There's so much creative, high hockey IQ guys on the ice that, you give them against a tired unit, they're gonna come away with more of the opportunities way more often than not. So, I agree with Stahl, right? An adjustment from Game 4 to Game 5, that could be all the difference. Could turn it from a double overtime loss to a 4-1 win is just a hair more concentration and controlling of the puck. Just a little bit more. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's go ahead and hear from Dennis real quick.
Yeah, real quick, before we get to numbers game and all that. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. I know a lot of people that are looking to book wedding parties. For example, like bachelorette parties. A lot of people are planning weddings, or maybe even, I know graduations are coming up and things like that. You want a graduation party, anniversaries, birthdays. Look no further than the Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School, because what Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School offers you is not only is it just a place to shoot. You can go do your round of clays on the target range. You can go check out the wobble deck, all this different stuff that they have to offer there. But one thing that you can book is the 2 outdoor pavilions that they have. They also have a wonderful outdoor fire pit as well. So when you and your family, your group of friends, after you do your round of clays, you can have that celebration, continue things on with food and drink that Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School can help provide for you, and that's something that you can bring for you as well, is that experience, that joy of having that wonderful time with friends and family. Have that at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. Again, deepriversportingclays.com. I've been there multiple times. I absolutely have a blast every single time I've been down there, and they have everything that you need for your round of clays down there at Deep River. So again, check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com, and book today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need numbers game contestants. We need 2 of them, so get ready to call in. The prize today, Sharky's Place gift card, home of award-winning wings. And don't miss the largest crawfish boil this side of New Orleans this Sunday, May 5th. That's right, Cinco de Bayou. Don't miss it. Starts at 2 p.m., so that's coming up this weekend for Sharky's. You can win a gift card if you win the numbers game. To win the numbers game, You need to play the numbers game. To play the numbers game, you need to call in right now. Call in 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Need 2 contestants. Numbers game next.
You're always close to the Canes with 99.9 The Fan.
Martinook banks it in. He scores! Jordan Martinook with the steal and the finish. And it's 4-3 Carolina. What a comeback!
Count on us to bring you every Canes game night and the latest Canes news from insider Adam Gold, your official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Electricity flows through everything. Our movement, our passion, our drive. Ford connected the performance of a sports car with the thrill of an EV to create a pony tuned for exhilaration, engineered to give you an extra jolt of adrenaline. Feel something electric. The 2024 Mustang Mach-E SUV. Test drive one today at your Carolina Ford dealer. Available at Ford EV certified dealers only.
This is the absolute worst time of the year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor things you love to do. Hiking, jogging, biking, going to the beach. You name it, it can't be done. Don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints like your knees, hips, back, and shoulder. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, who was an orthopedic surgeon who became a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Revolutionary treatments for joint pain are here. Call 919-400-5473 with locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
What's up, bud? Where are you hanging for Cinco de Mayo?
Sharkies.
Sharkies?
Yep, annual crawfish boil. Don't miss it ever.
Ooh, crawfish boil. I ain't missing that either.
You know what? It's Cinco de Mayo this year.
Whoa, Cinco de Mayo. I love it. Wait, that could be a hit song. Cinco de Mayo on the bayou. Eating crawfish and Sharkies
you don't need to sing. I get it.
Come join the fun at Sharkies, 5800 Durham Road, the largest crawfish boil this side of New Orleans. Cinco de Mayo this year, baby.
Sharkies all day long.
A happy place comes in many colors. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. During our spring sales event, get 10% off any home painting project $2,500 or more when you schedule before April 30th. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Home improvement contractor registration numbers are available at CertaPro.com.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. This is the portion of the show where I get to pretend I am a game show host. We have Gavin in Greensboro and Kevin in Creedmoor on the line, getting ready to compete. They will be competing for a Sharky's Place gift card, home of award-winning wings, and don't miss the largest crawfish boil this side of New Orleans this Sunday, May 5th. That's right, Cinco de Mayo. Don't miss it. Starts at 2 p.m. As always, we start with a question to see who goes first. Gavin in Greensboro, we'll start with you. What was the highlight of your weekend? Keep it sports-related. So what was your sports highlight of this past weekend?
That's a good question. I would say probably going to Brooklyn. I went to Brooklyn on Saturday afternoon to watch some of the Canes play. I was drinking a little bit and then watched the game, but unfortunately, the Hurricanes lost, so it was a little bit of a damper, but I guess all the booze kind of picked that up for me.
All right, I like it. I like solid afternoon. Kevin and Creedmoor, same question to you. What is your sports highlight of the past weekend?
This past weekend, I got to say it was my wife being ratified as a Abbott World Marathon 6-star finisher.
Wow.
She completed all 6 of the World Marathons in London on the 21st, and they ratified her 6-star this week.
You know what? You get to go first.
Let's go. I have no idea if any of that's true or not, but we're going with it.
To be completely honest, I'm not sure what any of it means, but anyone that runs a marathon is impressive in my book. And if you said she ran 6 of them.
I can see what it means. I can say, so the Abbott World Marathons is 6 marathons: Berlin, New York, Boston, Chicago, London, and Tokyo. And she did London on the 21st, which was her 6th one, and she finished all 6, and they consider that a Hall of Fame achievement.
All right, well, you can pull even with her if you win the numbers game, and that's like the same, right? So you better win.
It will be.
You get to go first, Kevin and Creedmoor, but don't worry, Gavin, you'll have your chance to win as well. The categories for you to pick out of, Kevin, are NFL all 7th rounders. These are all players drafted in the 7th round. NFL all number 2 picks, all players drafted number 2. NBA current players only, and NHL Canes and Whalers only.
You said NBA current players only?
NBA current players only.
I'll go with NBA current players only.
All right. The way this works, I will give you the team and the player. You give me their jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You do have 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, we're good.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Oklahoma City Thunder.
2.
Correct. Pascal Siakam, Indiana Pacers.
21.
Incorrect. Jarrett Allen, Cleveland Cavaliers.
13.
Incorrect. Pascal Siakam, Indiana Pacers.
22.
Incorrect. Jarrett Allen, Cleveland Cavaliers.
31.
Correct. Robin Lopez, Milwaukee Bucks.
13.
Incorrect. Pascal Siakam, Indiana Pacers. You got 2. You got 2. We've seen worse.
On the board.
We've seen worse. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wore number 2. Pascal Siakam wears number 43 for the Pacers. You got Jarrett Allen with 31. You went 13 first, so you flipped him. You got it right. Jarrett Allen with the Bucks wore number 42. Those are the answers that you missed, but you got 2. You're the leader in the clubhouse. Sit on the line. We'll see if it holds up. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That goes to Gavin in Greensboro. Gavin, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, the categories remaining for you are NFL all 7th rounders, NFL all number 2 picks, or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
NFL all number 2 picks.
All number 2 picks. All right. The way this works is the same as the last one. I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number. 30 seconds on the clock. You have 1 pass if you need it. Any last-second questions?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Donovan McNabb, Philadelphia Eagles.
5.
Correct. Saquon Barkley, New York Giants.
28.
Incorrect. Calvin Johnson, Detroit Lions.
17.
Incorrect. Saquon Barkley, New York Giants.
26.
Correct. Nick Bosa, San Francisco 49ers.
Pass.
Mitch Trubisky, Pittsburgh Steelers.
10.
Correct. Calvin Johnson, Detroit Lions.
81.
Correct. Nick Bosa, San Francisco 49ers.
97.
Correct. Saquon Barkley, New York Giants? Did he get it?
He already got it.
Okay,
he did get it, so he got all 5.
I didn't hear the celebration, so I don't know. That's a 5 for 5, and I almost made you do 6 just for fun.
Exactly.
I would have done 6.
Oh, I like the confidence. You would have done 6 marathons? How about that? I don't know if you were listening to that one.
Do that. Yeah, I'm not.
So Gavin, you are the winner. Kevin, thank you for playing. Congratulations to your wife on the running. Gavin, you're a 5 for 5. So take your victory lap. All right.
I sure will. I appreciate it, guys.
Of course, you get the gift card, and Dennis needs some info from you to make sure you get the gift card. So sit on the line, and he'll get some info he needs from you. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Gosh, Kevin has to go home now and say, sorry, I didn't win the numbers game. I know you ran all those marathons.
Sorry, I don't have any wings I can get you.
Can't even. No, I'm kidding. But that is kind of hilarious. Also, you know what? Just while we're giving shout-outs here, Nate in Raleigh gets a shout-out. We did our first goal scorer competition. We're doing it for each Canes game through the postseason, where you pick a player and a period to see who gets the first goal for the Canes. And Nate in Raleigh last week did predict Seth Jarvis in the first. And Seth Jarvis scored the first goal for the Canes, the first goal in the game in the first period. So he's going to get a signed puck sent his way. So congratulations to Nate in Raleigh. Also, everybody, tune in right now. Perk your ears up. Want to tell you about my partners at Miller Lending. That's Gordon Miller and Miller Lending. They're the home of the no closing cost loan. I like the idea of you date the rate, you marry the house, right? I heard that from Gordon Miller earlier today. And what that means is, even if it's a house that you're confident you're going to be in for 30 years, for 30 plus years, maybe the rest of your life, you still don't want to lock yourself into a rate and never look around to see if you can do better. If rates come down, if rates drop, hit up Gordon Miller and Miller Lending. They might be able to get your rate down without any money, no cost to you. The no closing cost loan means you don't have to dig into your pockets to pay all those costs and fees to lower your rate. So it's date the rate, marry the house, right? Even if it's a house you want to be in forever, be prepared to be flexible to get yourself the best rate possible. And as always, keep the phone number handy at 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377, or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 22146. I'm going to say that again one more time. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2502146. That's better. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Canes lost Game 4. Is that a big deal or no deal? Stick around.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store, and when you think of high-impact professionals in our community, who comes to mind? For me, nurses are right at the top of the list, given their care for my loved ones over the years. At the Good Feet Store, we often engage with nurses who are battling with pain in their feet, knees, and back, and they come to the Good Feet Store looking for relief. Here is Donna, a nurse sharing her story of what she experienced after visiting the Good Feet Store.
Oh, I have to tell you, I have struggled with pain in my feet. I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis. With the 3-step program, it really fits to your lifestyle. I'm a registered nurse, so being on my feet, walking throughout the hospital during the day, I am free from any type of pain. And after working a 12-hour shift, I go home and my feet do not hurt.
Whether you're a nurse or anyone wanting to enjoy your career without your feet getting in the way, come see us at the Good Feet Store. The Good Feet Store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today, or just stop by.
Hey homeowners, this is Keith Gregory with Home Exteriors by Baker Roofing. We have a lot of new neighbors moving to our area, and as a company that was founded in Raleigh in 1915, we would like to formally welcome you home. Our history of excellence is best summed up in our commitment. We shall do good work, at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. To learn more about our roofing, siding, window, door, and gutter services, visit bakerroofing.com.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
It's Truck Month at your local Ram dealer, and now's the time to get great deals on our award-winning lineup of trucks. At Ram, all we do is trucks. Maybe that's why Ram is the most awarded light-duty and heavy-duty truck brand over the last 5 years. Ram trucks feature innovative technology and uncompromised power and dependability that give you the power to strengthen your truck game. Go to ram.com for great deals and hurry in for the best selection of trucks during Ram Truck Month. Based on total full-size pickup awards 2019 to 2023 CYTD, based on standard and available features offered.
Are you looking for a place to take the whole family? Somewhere affordable that provides a ton of entertainment and good food? Well, let me let you in on a little secret. You can get all that and more at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. They have something for every member of the family. Let the kids play in Woolly World and meet Woolly Bull, and the adults can grab a tasty craft beer. Plus, you don't want to miss their unbeatable fireworks shows. Go to durhambulls.com/tickets or call 919-956-BULL today.
The chase for the cup is on, and if you're looking to light the lamp, nothing beats the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps. DraftKings has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. This week, all North Carolina customers can place a pregame money line bet on Carolina, and if they lead by at least 2 goals at any time during the game, you win, even if they end up losing the game. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD, that's TIMD with no spaces. New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code TIMD only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. 1 early win per opted-in customer. Max bets limits apply. Token expires at the start of the game. See dkng.co/ice for wagering eligibility and terms.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Shop our best savings of the season during SpringFest at Lowe's. Right now, save on Stay Green 1 cubic foot garden soil. Get 5 bags for just $10. And buy 2 select paints and exterior stains and get 1 free via Lowe's gift card rebate. Shop in-store and online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/1. Stay Green offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Paint offer while supplies last. Excludes paint and stain samples. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
The Body Armor State Games are in Charlotte this June, North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're taking the drive out for a drive. Take the driver out. Pound some golf balls right down the middle. We'll be broadcasting live from the newly opened Topgolf in Durham this Friday. So maybe not down the middle all the time, sometimes left and right, aiming for targets. We're going to do the whole thing. It's all happening this Friday from 3 to 6. We'll be talking sports from one of Topgolf's 100-plus climate-controlled hitting bays from 3 to 6, and we'll be taking in all Topgolf has to offer, from its chef-driven menu to the interactive games. Join us Friday for some fun at Topgolf's 3rd location in North Carolina, Topgolf Durham. It's at 4901 Top Golf Way. Canes lost Friday. Sorry, Canes lost Saturday. They lost game 4. It might be a big deal. It might be. That's probably not the hard and fast opinion you were looking for, but let me explain. I need to know what happens in game 5 before I care about game 4. Because there's a bunch of ways game 4 could come back to bite the Canes in the tail. That's not to say it will, but it could. And first, let's get the thoughts from Rod Brindamore. Here's Rod Brindamore on any worries about not getting the sweep.
Of course they do. I mean, it's only natural. I mean, they're back in it. They got, we gave them some hope here now. So now it's, it's tough to, we talked about before, it is tough to win 4 games in a row on someone, and, especially when the games are even like they are. I mean, it's not like it was 3-0 and we were dominating the games. It could have went either way in all 3, just like tonight could have easily went the other way. So we expected it to be a long series, and, we got to focus on the next one.
Here's all the ways it can come back to bite you. It gives the Islanders hope. The Islanders now know they can beat you. They didn't know that in a postseason game. They didn't know that until Game 4. The Rangers swept the Caps and are now just waiting and resting for you. So if this series drags on, right, if the Islanders win another game or, gosh forbid, another 2, I still don't think there's a ton of worry about who's going to win the series. But, after losing Game 4, there's always a possibility of Game 5 going the other way as well. If it starts to do that, you start to become the tired team going into round 2. Also, you can throw in there's always, every time you go out there and play full contact hockey, there's always the possibility of injuries. The only way losing Game 4 becomes a big deal is if Game 5 is anything other than boring and businesslike at home. Which, by the way, the Canes at home in the postseason, pretty businesslike. Right? The irony of most teams are like, we're going on a business trip. Canes are pretty business trip-like right at their own arena in PNC. So the only way that Game 4 becomes an issue and I start to yell and scream about it, or fans start to yell and scream about it, is if you lose Game 5 or you get hurt or something else happens that makes it like, man, I really wish they could have finished it in overtime in Game 4. If you win Game 5, open and shut, no injuries, nothing of note, I'll live by the phrase, no harm, no foul. Right? And then maybe you start to get into the real spin zone, and I'm a fan of spin zone. You get into the real spin zone of, well, now the Rangers haven't played in so long. Meanwhile, you had Game 5 to stay sharp. All right, they've been off for a week. You've been off for 5 days, and you start to do all that kind of math.
You hear it from hockey guys a lot. They hate too long of a break. Yeah, they like to be rested and stuff, but too long of a break completely throws you off your rhythm.
That's, again, you take care of business in Game 5, or gosh forbid, you give up Game 5, you take care of business in Game 6, you can start to have those kinds of conversations where you start to spin zone losing into being better. And like I said, you'd hear it. But I still believe this. All of the good that comes with playing good hockey, that comes with playing winning hockey, that comes with winning games, outweighs every other potential everything that can come with playing more games. Like, the teams that are playing better are more likely to continue playing better. The teams that are winning are more likely to continue winning. So I'm not going to grovel. I'm not going to plead. I'm not going to get down on my knees and beg. But please take care of business tomorrow. Don't drag this out any further. Just like you're better than the Islanders. Don't make that the vibes. No, we're better than them. We'll beat them when we beat them. Like, nah. Take care of business. I want Rangers, and the other thing is this. Rangers, Canes, we were having this conversation in a staff meeting earlier. It might start the day of a Game 7 from another Eastern Conference series.
Possibly.
If that happens, they're not going to accelerate the Canes and Rangers so far ahead that if one of them ends up winning, that you have like 2 weeks off before the Eastern Conference Finals. So they'll spread out your games in the second round a little bit more to make sure you're back on track with everybody else and you're not getting too far ahead. So in a weird way, having a long rest before the second series ensures longer rests or occasionally a longer rest within the second series, which I think means more now that you've made it obvious you're rolling with Freddie every chance you can. If you can just get, one more day between two between two separate gaps, two separate games in the second series, that might be the difference between Freddie being able to go again and not. It's the butterfly effect thing, right? Where we just went to game 6. Who cares? We won 4-2. It's like, yeah, well, what you didn't realize is that pushed back your start of your second series, which made your rest on a second series game less, which meant you couldn't ride with Freddie. Or, what? Who cares? We went 6 games with the Islanders, and we were the better team. It was obvious. Yeah, but what you don't realize is, pick a random player. I'm not going to, put that evil out into the universe. But so-and-so tweaked their ankle, and they weren't 100% in the second series. Like, the butterfly effect stuff does matter. So I do think it's a deal that they didn't finish it out game 4. I don't think it's a big deal unless they continue to let it happen. So I reserve the right. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I want to tell you about my partners over at the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry in their Village District location. It's a